The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most.
Middletown, Delaware, it's playoff time here in the First State. The District 1 champs, Appoquinimink, are in action at home where they welcome in the Hawks from St. George's from just down the road. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into 302 Sports. Nick Alessandrini alongside my partner, Pat Garianis. Pat, a rematch of Week 4 of the regular season, but both teams have come such a long way since that matchup back on October 1st.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Nick. Yeah, both of these programs, tough starts to the season, but they really seem to have turned their seasons around. I know that you guys have kind of gotten a look at St. George's. I know Glenn and I have seen APPO through the continuation of the season, and yeah, both of these teams have made adjustments, and it's led them to be two dangerous teams here. Whoever wins this game, they could make some noise with a deep run. So I'm looking forward to seeing the continuation of both these team seasons, and I think this is going to be an absolute battle here tonight.
It's going to be a good one. Some fantastic first-round matchups when you look at the 3A playoffs here in round number 1, and a bunch of rematches as well in round 1 here in Class 3A. We talked about the strides that both teams have made since that Week 4 win for APPO over St. George's, 21-7, and St. George's only points coming on a kick return for a touchdown by Mr. Miller, one of the Hawks, and Daniel McConomy. He had 2 touchdown runs in that game, one from 4 yards out, one from 20 yards out. But we talked about the evolution of these two teams since that Week 4 matchup, and one thing, Pat, that you've had a chance to see when watching the APPO Jaguars is not only the evolution of the team, but the quarterback and the freshman Greg Nielsen, who has really come on here in the last 5 games.
He has, and we've seen a lot of great freshman quarterbacks around the state. Stower at Salesianum, among some other guys. And Nielsen has stepped in around midway point of the season, and he's done exactly that. He's had 40 completions since he took over as a starter. That's 8 per game in the 5 games that he's played, and he's thrown for 800 yards, Nick, in half a season. He's gotten the job done for sure, and it has definitely opened up this offense. It has taken the pressure off our guy, Run DMC, Offensive Player of the Year, Daniel McConomy, the junior running back, and it's allowed this offense to become balanced, and because of the balance, they've become a more dynamic group, and that's why you've seen them carry the season along, finish at 6-4, and get a huge win over Salesianum to earn the number 2 seed.
How about that? APPO, your District 1 champions. We'll get to that here in a minute. You talked about Run DMC and the evolution of that pass game. Again, talk about the first half of the season. We'll dive more into it in our team previews. Didn't really pass the ball at all. 1 or 2 attempts a game, and now Greg Nielsen really opening up that part of the offense for the Jaguars. Let's jump now into our team previews and start with the 7-seeded St. George's Hawks. The head coach that I know very well, John Wilson, was my head coach back in 2010 when we were the state champions with St. Mark's High School. He's done a phenomenal job since moving over to St. George's, and he's got some talented guys on that side, on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensively. They've split the last 4 games 2-2, but those losses, Pat, as we know, to Middletown and Sussex Central, 2 tough teams, and then wins over Cape and William Penn to end the season. They've got some weak wins, though, with those wins this year, the 4 wins they do have, but they're coming to life as of late, and they've got a really tough schedule, so they played some tough teams throughout the year, so they should be ready for this moment.
They should, and they've definitely been challenged. And, Coach John Wilson, he's led teams. Nick, you were a part of them. They're always very well disciplined, very well coached, and they will come out and they will pound you for an entire game. There's going to be no quit in this group. You said it. They're battle-tested, and we'll see what they can do. One thing I know that you grabbed from Coach Wilson, he had mentioned this. The most important thing is that they understand that their record does not define who they are. And if they come out with that kind of approach in this kind of a game, anything can happen, Nick.
And it all starts with that senior quarterback who's had a phenomenal season. And again, when talking to Coach Wilson earlier in the week, he said maybe if our record wasn't 4-6 or is what it was, he would be getting a lot more recognition because he's been that good. One of the best seasons at quarterback that he's had a chance to coach, he mentioned, and we both talked about it. He's had some good ones in the past. So Donovan Brooks going to step in and be another fantastic quarterback for Coach Wilson, and he's had some great stats. He does it through the air and also on the ground.
You're right. Over 1,300 yards, 1,369 through the air. And then he's also ran for 817 yards on the ground. His touchdown to interception ratio is 10-3, and he's got 13 rushing touchdowns. So add it up there, fellas. That's 23 total touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. This guy will take care of the football. He will also make some things happen through the air. He's a true dual threat in this state. He's captain, and it sounds like Coach Wilson has said he's a captain. He's very humble, and not to mention dual sport athlete. We like seeing that here at 302 Sports. He's also a baseball player, so he's going to be a guy to keep an eye on with that offense for sure.
Yeah, he's got that arm for sure, and as you mentioned, especially on the ground, 13 touchdowns on the ground for Donovan Brooks this season. Sticking with the St. George's offense, Kwame Miller. They moved him to running back towards the end of the season. Coach Wilson said he's given us some more speed, some more explosiveness, and he can be used in multiple ways in that offense.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, he's 40 carries, 265 yards. That's 6.5 yards per carry. That's the key. If he's able to average that here today, that could definitely help them out.
A few other guys to look out for on that St. George's offense. The junior, other running back, number 3, Terry White, 93 carries, 290 yards. He has 4 touchdowns on the season. And then the sophomore receiver, Jason Askins-Brooks, has 336 yards and 3 touchdowns on the year. And when talking to Coach Wilson, he gave us his keys to the game offensively. They were eliminate drive killers and such things as penalties, drop passes, and sacks. And he wants to win at the line of scrimmage.
That's always the key, right? They win up front. You can make some things happen. It's not going to be easy. We'll dive into that APPO defensive front. They got some really good, talented players up there, but if they can do that and they can get this ground game going, this could turn into shorten the game up. It could keep this thing competitive.
And when you look at the defense for the Hawks, they talk about Jamal bin Youssef, the senior, number 55. He got off to a slow start this year, but he's been really playing well to finish the season. He's got 4.5 sacks, 46 tackles, and 8.5 TFLs.
Yeah, no, he's a big fella up front, and he's going to have to try and win some battles there, against this running game of Appoquinimink. So he's going to be a player to watch for sure.
And again, you move it on to the defensive keys to the game for Coach John Wilson. You got to eliminate the big plays. He's okay with that bend, but don't break defense. And, of course, Patty's got one guy circled on that APPO offense, and that's Run DMC.
Yeah, he's not easy to contain because he's quick, he's fast, and he's only 170 pounds, maybe.
Yes.
This man will run through you, though. He is hard to bring down, so you're going to have to secure tackles, tackle his legs. You can't get arm tackles on Run DMC. You're going to have to drive through him. So the angles are going to have to be good for St. George's.
Yeah, we'll get to his stats here in a second as you see the APPO Jaguars come out to the field here at home for a home playoff game. Special teams, the kicker, number 16, Josh Freeman. They also have had some different kickers throughout the season, such as Andrew Thomas, but Joshua Freeman listed as the kicker today. We'll keep an eye on that. He is a soccer player. Even back when I played, Coach Wilson loved to get some of those soccer guys to come do the place kicking for his football teams. It has always worked well. We'll see if Josh Freeman can have an impact on the game tonight. So there are some things to pay attention to for St. George's. Let's now take our attention to the 2-seeded APPO Jaguars, your District 1 champion, something that maybe no one saw coming at the beginning of the season. They are led by your District 1 Coach of the Year, Brian Timpson. What a year it's been for the Jags. Won 4 out of their last 5 with wins over William Penn, Hodson Cape, and, of course, that big one over Sally's, that only loss coming to the Smyrna game that you had the chance to do.
Yeah, this team's really come into their own. We talked about it. I mean, McConommy's been consistent all year long. He's the district offensive player of the year. They got a big fella, Elijah Husser, up front. He's the district lineman of the year. He can make some things happen, and they're pretty big up front. I mean, Husser's 6'7", 300 pounds, but Ian Beatty, Miko Gibson, both of those team are first-team all-district guys. And, I mean, they got a young right side of the offense with Polk and Doogie, but they got a really good line up front, and then the establishment of the passing game with Greg Nielsen, as we talked about it, some targets like Noah Hoff, Hodge Bell. I mean, these guys can make some things happen through the air now. This offense is just kind of completely taken off,
right?
And away they've gone.
And they have. Let's talk about that freshman quarterback who's been making waves here the last 5 weeks of the season. Pat, you mentioned the 40 completions, 800 yards passing, and him and Noah Hoff, the sophomore, again, Nielsen, a freshman, and Hoff, a sophomore, so they've got that connection going already. They might have been working with each other there, growing up or the last couple years, maybe not on that first team, they've got quite the connection, and we're going to see it firsthand tonight, and you saw it against Smyrna.
Yeah, Noah Hoff's been making plays all over the field, man. I mean, he did it in the Smyrna game, albeit that was a one-sided affair, but then he turned around and did it again against Salesianum. So this young man is playing with a lot of confidence, and there seems to be a nice chemistry developed with the freshman quarterback, Greg Nielsen. So, yeah, he's got to keep an eye on. And then, of course, we talked about McConomy. Let's talk a little bit about his yards here, Nick. 1,900 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns. He's over 2,000 all-purpose yards. And for a while there, he's averaging 45 carries a game. That now has tapered back.
How about that workload? Yeah.
Now it's tapered back, and I'm telling you, it makes him better because he's fresher as the game goes on. Holes are wider. It's really something to behold, man. He's a special talent.
Yes, he is. We're going to get a chance to check him out up close and personal today. If you listened to the Delaware Football Podcast with John Busby and Marty Sheehan, he highlighted that when they talked to Coach Timpson for their preview show. He said, yes, we know. We give him the ball too much. And, again, they've kind of, limited him a little bit late now with the passing game operating the way it is. But Run DMC, definitely one of the best running backs here in the first state of Delaware. Talking to Coach Timpson, he says if we stay more balanced, that's going to help us in the run game. He says the St. George's defensive line is much improved, so it's going to be a challenge tonight. We'll see how it goes. And then he also alluded to the fact that it's tough to beat a team twice, and that's going to have to be the case for for Appoquinimink tonight.
It will, and I think that if they can balance this offense out, even if the passing game isn't working early, it is windy, as you can see the flags at midfield are blowing. If they can establish the passing game, Greg Nielsen can keep his calm, cool, and collect as a freshman in this big-time moment. I think they'll have a really good chance against the St. George's team.
We're going to have the coin toss and the national anthem, but Glenn Frazier had a chance to catch up with both of these head coaches ahead of tonight's round one matchup. Again, Glenn doing such a phenomenal job. Again, unable to be here with us today. Just want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Glenn Frazier. I mean, just going through a lot of family stuff with him right now. And, again, one of the best guys in the state in terms of covering high school football. So we are going to miss him here tonight. But, again, some great interviews. Here he is with both head coaches ahead of tonight's matchup.
Glenn Frazier with head coach of the Appoquinimink Jaguars, Brian Timpson. And first off, Coach, congratulations as your team with that win, that comeback win Friday night against Salesianum. You three-way tie for first. You win the tiebreakers. First conference championship in school history. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's an amazing thing for us. The kids have worked really hard, obviously, to put themselves in that position. We knew, that when we went to the 3A system that everything was going to change, and every week you had to play a real football game, and that's what it is. But when they separated into districts and they put district as the number one, the goal was to win the district, and we did that. And for our school and Appoquinimink to get recognized like that, it's a good feeling.
What's the atmosphere been like this week in practices leading up to the first playoff game?
It's been similar to last week. I mean, we told the kids last week that our playoffs started last week, and we knew that if we won last week, we would be district champs. Obviously the tiebreakers and how many points we had to give up or not give up and all that, but it was like, let's win and we'll see what happens. And they've carried it on to this week. And the one thing you go as a coach, you don't want to let down after winning in a comeback fashion last week. You don't want to let down. And so far, the first couple of days of practice, they've been at the same level. So that's good.
Your opponent, you're no strangers to John Wilson's St. George's Tech team. You played him back in early October. You got a win, and you did it that night mostly with McConomy running the football. I think he had over 250 yards on the ground that night, and you won by a couple of scores. You're a little bit different offense right now coming down the stretch, so you got some wrinkles to throw against them this time around.
Yeah. The first time, I think – Daniel carried the ball like 44, 45 times. Now he did have I think he had 270 that night or that afternoon. Okay. But, now we don't have to feed him as much. Now, if we get in a game where it's the Run DMC show, then that's what we're going to do and get Daniel the football because, he makes things happen. But we are more versatile now. We got a new freshman quarterback. Greg Nielsen has stepped up and done a nice job and a couple side. And, that'll give St. George's, something else to worry about. But obviously, they're still a very good team, and they'll be prepared because I know Coach Wilson does a great job.
Well, when you talk about them and their offense, it really centers around that quarterback, Donovan Brooks. He's got over 800 yards on the ground. He's passed for over 1,300. I think he's got almost 20 touchdowns. So obviously, he's got to be somebody that's key for you to try to limit.
Yeah, everybody wants to talk about us and the guy that we have, and you got to stop our number 24. The key, you got to stop their number 2. Number 2 gets everything going for them, and he's the quarterback, so he can make the plays, like you said, with his legs. He also lately has been throwing the ball very well. Watching their last few games, they found a passing attack as well and are more consistent with it. Has timing with his receivers, but the dangerous part is his legs, and if he can. If we don't contain him, he'll get out loose and it'll be struggles all night long. So he is the number 1 priority for sure.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time so much. Good luck to you Friday night, home game in the playoffs. I know that you did that last year, but it's probably even a little sweeter this year.
Sweeter this year as district champs, yes.
All right, that's head coach Brian Timpson of the APPO Jags. Once again, Coach, we thank you for your time and best of luck Friday night.
Thanks, Glenn.
Special thanks to Glenn Frazier, Coach Brian Timpson, and John Wilson. We'll hear from Coach John Wilson at the half as we're getting an early start here today, Pat, for APPO and St. George's. And just like that, we're underway before 7 o'clock here in round 1 of the DIAA playoffs. That one going to be fielded at the 10, returned just outside the 20 for St. George's. Returning that one was number 11, Reggie Lay. So here we go, Pat, our first look at the St. George's offense. And speaking with that coaching staff, they've huge strides here in the offense for St. George's the last couple of weeks. And we'll get our first look at Donovan Brooks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what this team can bring. I know that you guys have maybe seen them, heard about them a couple of times. It's the first time for me getting a look at this group. So definitely curious to see what Dylan Brooks and company will bring to the table.
This is our first State Orthopedics game of the week, and it's a good one as Brooks will start this drive in the shotgun. He'll turn and hand it off on first down, trying to get outside to the sideline is Kwame Miller, and a good carry on first down for the Hawk. He's going to pick up 6, and they moved him late in the season, Pat, to running back, and already looks good on the first carry of the ball game.
Yeah, he did a great job. Good shiftiness in the hole. He stayed patient, let his blocks develop, found the opening, and that's a good first down run of about 7 yards.
St. George's offense from left to right on the offensive line. Alexis McVeigh, the junior, Emmanuel Alexander, the sophomore, Kyle Jones, Tyler Rawlings-Croning, and Jaleel Settles. Donovan Brooks, your quarterback, and your running backs Kwame Miller, Terry Wright, and Jamie Ryder-Hartman at the fullback. This time back to Kwame Miller. Go St. George's. How about that cut inside? And then check out the speed from number 15. He's into APPO territory inside the 40, and he's going to carry some Jaguars inside the 35. What a start for the St. George's offense on their opening drive.
You're not kidding, Nick. Great start. And again, the vision of Kwame Miller there. That play was scheduled to go to the right or to the left. The whole defense sucked over there, and there was one cutback lane established. He hit it, and he got straight north and south. What vision, what a run by Miller.
43 yards on 2 carries for Kwame Miller here early in this one. We got the band right in front of us up here at the press box. The tuba getting into some of our vision up here as St. George's with a first down into APPO territory. They'll have it 1st and 10 from the APPO 36, and now a whistle as Donovan Brooks was out of the shotgun. We'll wait and see.
I think it's going to be movement up front here, Nick. There it is, false start up front.
While we have a minute, remember, this is our Game of the Week, brought to you by First State Orthopedics, our official Game of the Week sponsor. They have 29 positions at 16 locations, which provide both surgical and non-surgical treatment for a variety of orthopedic conditions and are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. They serve as team physicians for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Again, give them a call today or head on over to firststateortho.com. So 2nd and long here after the penalty for St. George's. So motion across from Jamie Ryder-Hartman. And they'll hand it off back to Kwame Miller here out of the shotgun. My goodness, he found a hole, and he was able to slide right through it, Pat. He's shifting.
Yeah, cold night like this, sometimes you avoid contact. Sometimes you can't get a good grip. Arm tackles right there by APPO. and Miller's going to run through those every time. Gets the penalty yardage back. Nice effort so far by number 15 and White to start this thing off.
Got the run game going early here due to the St. George's Hawks. Donovan Brooks, he's known for that. 13 touchdowns on the ground today so far. It's the senior Kwame Miller. So here's 2nd and 11. Brooks out of the shotgun. They'll fake it, and they're going to bootleg him out to the left. The lefty will fire to the sideline, has his intended target.
Nice, that incomplete.
And they're going to say he was out of play. He was looking for Brayton Fields.
Yeah, Brayton Fields, he was there. Couldn't quite get that toe tap, but nice idea, right? You're going to have to keep this thing balanced. I like that Coach Wilson did the play action. They've hit him hard with the run. He came back with the play action pass, looked to hit one of his big targets on the sidelines to set up a 3rd and short, just couldn't get the foot down.
Yeah, Coach Wilson loves the play action for sure. And now 3rd down for the St. George's offense here tonight at Appoquinimink. It's going to be 3rd and about 11, and they'll go trips to the bottom of your screen with a lone receiver at the top. Brooks will take the snap from the gun, look to throw. Here comes the pressure, going to try to slide up in the pocket, but he's going to be brought down by that APPO defensive line. And guess who's there to make first contact?
Elijah Husser, baby. 6'7", 300 pounds. This man plays with a lot of energy and emotion, and that allows him to just become an absolute beast in the middle there. He was able to push through, and a pressure coming from the middle is going to be key with a quarterback that can scramble like Dylan Brooks. And right there, Husser was not going to allow him to get away. Big-time sack to force a 4th down.
4th and 13 now from the 37, and Brooks will be back at quarterback. They do like the quick kick option, so we'll see if that's the play here. But Brooks going to start this one in the gun. He's going to look to throw. 4th and 11. Fires to the sideline, in and out of the hands of his intended target. He was looking for Tommy or White, the senior. In and out of his hands, Pat, but wouldn't have been enough for 1st down yardage anyway.
Yeah. It's just a questionable route combination there. I mean, 4th and 13, and, you got to get to the sticks, Nick, on 4th down there. You got to get to the sticks. I would have liked to see maybe a hard count, try and get APPO off sides, move it up a little bit. Or I know there's not a whole lot of plays in the playbook for 4th and 13, and you like to hit these short routes and let your guys make plays after the catch, but that was a tough one right there.
So
tough one there. And APPO surviving the early big-time runs by St. George's. That's a big stop, potential momentum shifter right there.
Yeah, sudden stop as well. 2 carries for Kwame Miller, picked up 43, and then it was 3 and out the next 3 plays. So here's our first look at the APPO offense, led by the freshman Greg Nielsen. And they'll start out of the gun. Pistol formation, hand to run DMC. Daniel McConomy on 1st down. He's able to pick up 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Here you go. You're going to get a steady dose of him, right? You're going to get, I still think you're going to get 25 to 30 carries, probably closer to 25 now. That seems to be the formula that APPO wants to go with, but you're going to have to stop him first and foremost. So, good 1st down run, sets up a 2nd down and manageable. Playbook is wide open.
Back to the pistol they go with Nielsen in the shotgun on 2nd and 6. He'll turn right back to McConomy they go. He'll wait the line of scrimmage, look for an area, and try to dive forward. Maybe picked up 1 or 2. So now here's APPO with a 3rd and manageable up near their own 45.
Yeah, I saw Ryan Givens in there, number 51, linebacker, senior, getting in there, making a play, mixing it up. This APPO defense is going to have to play the run first and then react to the pass. That's what they're going to have to do here tonight.
So Glover, the fullback, and McConomy once again in the backfield for Nielsen, who sits in the shotgun pistol here on 3rd and 4. Nielsen, he'll take the snap. They'll go right back to McConomy. He'll try to get outside, looking for a running lane. And he's going to be brought down short of that 1st down marker, and it's going to be real close, Pat, and maybe decision time here on 4th and inches for the APPO offense.
Yeah, again, 4th, but this is good. You set up with a 4th and 1. You can either sneak this thing, you can go McConomy. Looks like they're going to bring the punt unit out. St. George's got to be careful. Watch the hard count. Watch the fake. Watch the hard count. Watch the fake here. Actually, check that. We're going earthquake, Nick.
Earthquake.
I thought their switch of personnel was going to be a punt. No. We got an earthquake formation coming out.
It looks like it's going to be McConomy.
I think it's him and Griffith back there.
And Griffith. McConomy will take the direct snap, looking for somewhere to go. It's going to be really close. As he was brought down there defensively by Jamie Ryder Hartman, the senior middle linebacker, got through there to make the stop, and now it's going to be really close, Pat. We may have a measurement.
We're gonna get one. I'll tell you what a second effort by McConomy. It looks like he was stopped. Givens, you saw Selby, you saw a bunch of guys break through that line. Cooks was in there as well, but he somehow was able to keep the feet moving, and the second effort is what's going to make this thing close, because he was about the 45, Nick. You saw it. He was about at the 45, looked like he was dead to rights. Somehow fell forward.
This is a big measurement here on the 4th down carry for APPO. On their opening drive of the ball game. That's going to be inches short, and you say the St. George's defense reaction there. A turnover on downs, and both defenses coming up big in the first quarter.
It's big, yeah. Both defenses coming up with 4th down stops. Who's going to seize momentum of this game, Nick? We thought it was going to go back to APPO after their stop. St. George's returned the favor, and they got good field position. So let's see if they can mount some kind of plays, maybe establish the passing game a little bit here too, get this offense back balanced.
Kwame Miller now making his way to the slot. They like to use him in all different positions here on the offense. They got 3 receivers for Brooks, who sits in the shotgun here on 1st down. He's going to fake the handoff. He'll take it himself on the belly read, and he'll pick up about 3 yards, faking it to Terry White, and he'll be brought down looking at around 2nd and 7 here into APPO territory.
Like it, right? Give different looks. Make APPO have to defend multiple different looks. That's the first time you're really seeing a veer option look from St. George's, and that time they kept it, right? Now, later in the game, look for him maybe to hold it in there a little bit longer and hand it off. I mean, there's a lot of different options off of that, but like you've seen dives, you've seen straight runs, you've seen play action passes, you saw a drop back pass. Now you've just seen a veer option. Coach Wilson and the St. George's offensive staff is doing a good job early in this game, giving different looks, trying to get in the heads of APPO, maybe setting things up for later in the game.
And again, Coach Wilson has that playoff experience. Slow to get up that time was the junior center, Kyle Jones. So we'll wait and see the replacement for the junior here after the injury timeout on the field. 2nd and 7 when they come back out, Pat.
And that could be big because they do run out of the gun. So you're going to have a young kid coming in potentially, or you're going to have a player shift over. I'm not quite sure what the depth situation is there. But let's keep an eye on these first couple of snaps with the new center quarterback exchange.
And we're going to get a look now at who it's going to be.
Looks like they're going to shift Tyler Rawlings Cronin to June. No, they're not. So
it'll be number 50, Dayon Cannon, the backup left guard now, will slide to center.
You go. Good eyes there, bud.
So Brooks back in the gun here. And again, we know that was the offense I ran with Coach Wilson, the veer belly read, and they're going to go right back to it. Brooks again, this time going to keep it, and he's going to be out and going to mark him down a yard short. Thought he was able to dive forward for the 1st down, but it's going to be 3rd and short coming up here for the St. George's offense, and they're going to go up tempo.
Yeah, they're going. I like this. Again, another look. It's a whole different look you're seeing.
And it's going to be a quick quarterback sneak. And I like that play call, Pat, there originally, and Donovan Brooks. It's going to be close again here as he tried to push himself forward under center there, and it looks like it's going to be enough for a 1st down.
Husser going to have to come off the field here. Helmet dislodged, holding his nose. Hopefully everything's okay there. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from St. George's here as the underdog, the team that's under 500, and nobody, now I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people are like, yeah, APPO's going to get a win here. They're coming out and they're putting the press on from Jump Street. They're throwing the whole kitchen sink out at APPO right now, and I love it.
Baskin, Brooks, Fields, and Miller, the 3 receivers for Brooks in the shotgun here on 1st down. White is the back sitting to his right. This time they'll give it to him. White trying to make something happen, slides through the line of scrimmage there, at least for the moment. He's going to be brought down by Tyler Shane, the honorable mention all-district linebacker.
Great job by Shane coming off of there, but good job up front by the St. George's offensive line. You get 4.5, 5 yards on 1st down, you're taking that production every single time. So St. George's, they clearly have been revitalized after that defensive stop. I liked what I've seen from them right now. Last thing they really need to do is somehow find a way to get Dylan Brooks going in the air. If they can somehow establish the passing here, they can really be dangerous early in this game.
Coach Wilson likes the play action. We'll see if they go the belly read now, maybe to throw the ball here shortly. But Brooks back in the gun here on 2nd and 5. This time going to hold on to it for a while. Hands it off to Miller, and he is met by Shane and a few other Jaguars in there on the tackle.
Yeah, Shane, Osborne. I mean, they were all in on that play. And, there was really no correct option there. honestly. You saw Brooks hold that thing at the mesh point for a long time trying to figure out what should I do. And then it was just a decision of, am I going to take the hit or is he going to take the hit? So he gave it to his guy, and that's just really well defended there by Appo.
Yeah, good push up front by that Appo defensive line. Again, Ali Kamara, the second-team All-District. Elijah Husser, first-team. Dymere Millam, the honorable mention. And then Cameron Porter, the senior. That makes up the defensive line for Appoquinimink. But 3rd and 6, maybe 2-down territory for St. George's. Trips to the top of the screen for Brooks in the shotgun. He's going to fire across the middle, looking for his intended target. He was looking for Tamir White, and there was some contact there, but no flag, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, there was no need to throw one there, but I like it, right? It was open, too. You had single coverage there with the safety, your slot receiver coming across the middle, just a little bit too high by Donovan Brooks on that throw. Again, cold night, too, Nick. Sometimes it's hard to grip that football until you get a sweat going. That throw just didn't seem to come out of the hands the way that he wanted to.
So 4th and 6 after the incompletion. Offense for St. George's going to stay on the field. First down marker up near the 26. Brooks out of the gun. It's going to be designed quarterback draw. He's going to be brought down in the backfield, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. And big Elijah Husser, the district lineman of the year, doing it on defense this time. He's the one bringing him down short of the line to gain.
Not the worst call in the world, right? Run your QB draw with your leading rusher and star quarterback. And, great job by Husser fighting off of a block and finding a way to make a tackle before you could get going. So now we've seen 3 drives, 3 4th down stops by the defenses. Hold on to your horses, Nick. It's like Madden 07 or whatever, Madden 08 with Ray Lewis, 05 with Ray Lewis
that
on
is
the
a good
cover.
one. Right back to DMC goes the Appo offense on first down. How about that? Met by the line of scrimmage, Pat, but he's going to keep those legs churning. He's going to pick up a few more.
Again, he may be 170 with pads on, and he's still, with the strength that he has for a guy who's not very big, he turned a 2-yard loss into a 1-yard gain there, which, you may be like, okay, Pat, whatever. It was only a 1-yard gain. Those little things, that wears on a defense as time goes on.
Yeah, it's amazing he was able to get a yard on that one. Could have lost 3. Now on 2nd and 9 for the freshman Nielsen. He'll turn right back to DMC. They go. McConomy trying to look for a hole up the middle. Not going to find one. He's going to be brought down in on the tackle. Deion Cooks, who now is taking over at center offensively.
All right, so we've now seen 6 offensive plays, 6 runs from Appoquinimink. This is kind of looking reflective to what we've seen from them the first half of the year before they really started to let Nielsen. They trusted Nielsen to have him let it fly. Let's see here if they start to open the offense up a little bit. I'd like to see a couple pass plays coming right now. I get it. You're on the big stage. It's the playoff time. You want to make sure that you got the right play call and you play conservative. Don't play too conservative right now.
3rd and long for the Appo offense. Right back to DMC they go. St. George's looked like they weren't ready for that one, and McConommy's going to have first down yardage close to midfield as he's pushed out of bounds. And St. George's dropping back on 3rd and long, and what a surprise. Appo handed it right back to run DMC for first down yardage.
They spread the field out, right, in a pass first type look, and they give it to him off tackle, and they were able to get the edge set and get McConomy in space. I kind of like that. I like getting him the ball in space and allow him to use his speed and quickness to his advantage. So far, you've only seen him really run the ball up the middle, so I do like that look.
Now another earthquake formation for Appo. They'll bunch it up tight here on first down, and now we have a whistle. And we'll see, maybe somebody took a timeout here.
I think that's someone moved. Someone jumped.
And now you got some subs for St. George's on the defensive side of things after the whistle, and it is Pat Goodeye. This flag going to go against Appoquinimink. We're going to wait and find out here as the officials get together and talk about it.
They're talking to Coach Timpson about something. Let's see what they called. Was this false start? Is this too many men in the huddle?
And again, your officials for tonight will get the call first.
Snap and let's see. Yeah, false start. Yep.
So again, we don't have a number. That's going to go against the Appo offense. So that's going to back them up here on first down. Again, yet to throw a pass. McConomy has 7 carries for 22 yards here in quarter number 1. Your officials tonight Referee Tom Farrow, umpire Matt Ferguson, linesman Jim Ferguson, line judge Marco Beyer, the back judge Glenn Slayton, your field judge Emmer Feliciano, your side judge Wesley Gerard, and your clock operator Frank Starkey.
I would like to see a little play action here. Play action, look for Noah
Hasn't
Huff.
happened yet, right?
Take the top off the defense. But,
They'll
hey,
go.
I'm a quarterback, so.
They'll go, trips to the top of the screen, and they're going to throw it. Nielsen fires across the middle, has his man. That's Mason Reinhardt, the tight end. And he's going to pick up a big chunk there, Pat, looking at a 10-yard completion on Nielsen's first pass attempt.
All right, okay, they didn't go play action, but I like it. This kid could play, man. He's impressed me. I don't think this moment's too big for him. I like that. They drop back in the zone. Great job of recognizing the zone defense and finding Reinhardt in the soft spot. That's a good first down play. Look, you just picked up, 12 yards on first down. That's a really nice job, and it's going to be important for APPO to continue to do that, to space this defense out and get McConomy some running lanes.
And again, when you talk to St. George's, or you don't even have to, their focus was going to be on run DMC coming in. Nielsen going to have to make them pay through the air. They go back to DMC on second down, and he ran right into that St. George's defensive line. Jamal Ben Youssef, one of the go-to guys or stars to watch defensively. He's in on the tackle. He had 46 this season.
Yeah, and they're trying to make sure that they don't abandon the run up the middle. But I think your strength is getting him in space, whether that be sweeps, whether that be tosses, whether that be passes, flare passes. You got to get McConomy in space. Great job so far early in this game by this Hawk front seven, getting off blocks and really shutting the middle run game down.
Again, 3 all-district linemen on that front 5 for the APPO offense. We'll have a timeout here with 1:07 remaining in quarter number 1. That'll be the Jaguars first. We'll stay right here, Pat, here with a 0-0 ball game, and we're still looking for somebody to break the scoring open, and we'll see if APPO can do it on this drive. But Greg Nielsen, we talked about the passing game. He's been great the last 5 weeks, over 800 yards. We talked about the connection him and Noah Hoff have. And again, 1-for-1 tonight as he hits Mason Reinhardt across the middle.
Yeah, it was a great job finding Reinhardt, like you said, in the middle of the zone there. And I think that's going to be key. That's going to be key if they can establish a passing game, find a way to get Reinhardt involved, Hoff involved, Bell involved. I think that's going to really help loosen this defense up. And like I said, open lanes for McConomy later in the game.
Again, Run DMC, your offensive player of the year there in District 1. So 3rd and manageable, we'll call it 3rd and 4, 1:07 remaining here in quarter number 1. As APPO needs 4 for a new set of downs. They'll look to throw. Nielsen, the freshman, going to fire to the sideline, going up. Hoff, unable to reel it in as Nielsen, he's heels at the 38. And he'll give it a boot. It's a high one. Going to take a hop at the 20. What a punt from Mason Reinhardt. That's going to roll to the 1-yard line. Doesn't get much better than that. And a Mason Reinhardt turning the field.
Garbage in the goal.
Yeah, garbage in the goal. I was going to say changing field position.
Yeah.
A huge change in field position for Appoquinimink, and now St. George is pinned deep in their own territory at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and it's the third and sometimes the most important phase of the game, Nick, is special teams. It's forgotten about a lot of times, but it's ask Salesianum how much special teams has helped and benefited them this year. Ask a Red Lion how much special teams has helped and benefited them this year. And honestly, APPO as well. Reinhardt's one of the better punters in the state, and look at this. You just pinned them. 1st and goal at the 1. Now your defense can kind of pin their ears back, try and get 2 points the hard way here. Let's see what they can do.
Braden Fields one-on-one at the top of the screen. Kwame Miller is the back with Donovan Brooks, who sits in the shotgun. They'll give it to Miller, trying to get out of the end zone. He'll pick up a few there on 1st down. Maybe 2, 2nd and 8 for St. George's, and we'll see how being pinned deep in their own territory maybe affects the play call, and we'll see if they can get one more playoff here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, this is going to be crucial here. You're going to have to really stay on your blocks up front and make sure that you don't allow any kind of penetration from APPO. I anticipate 3 consecutive runs here from St. George's. Let's see.
Brooks back in the shotgun on 2nd and 7. They picked up 2 on the 1st carry. Right back to Miller, trying to make something happen. He's going to be close to the line of scrimmage. He'll be brought down, it looks like maybe for a yard loss. Either way, not going to be brought down in the end zone, but getting pushed back is that St. George's offense here. That's going to be the last play of quarter number 1.
Yeah, APPO's smelling blood in the water right now. They're pinning their ears back and getting after it. I'm noticing here Middletown football's in attendance, so don't think this game isn't on the minds of some others within this conference, within this division.
We're going to take our first break of the night. After 1 quarter of action, a defensive battle here at Appoquinimink High School between the number 2 Jaguars and the number 7 St. George's Hawks. We'll be right back with second quarter action right here on Delaware Live Sports.
Melissa Ellis is part of 4 Acre Realty Company. She is licensed in both Delaware and Pennsylvania. Melissa knows that being personable and patient is a key to her success as a realtor. Helping both buyers and sellers understand current market values and conditions puts them in the best position when making an offer or pricing a home for sale. That kind of high-level professional communication and her skill at being a team player put Melissa's clients at ease, knowing she has their best interests at heart. Melissa is also an athlete herself, playing multiple sports, so she understands what teamwork means. She is still involved in sports, whether it's sponsoring, coaching, or being team mom for her own 2 daughters' teams. What sets her apart is how grateful Melissa is for the trust of her clients. She never takes that trust for granted. She affords all people respect and honesty and works hard to be the support system clients need and deserve. Melissa Ellis, strong connections, strong service.
Back live at Appoquinimink High School, round 1 of your Class 3A playoffs. Nick Allison-Drini alongside Pat Garianis. Nick Holliday right to our left. He gets to hang out in the press box on the camera today. Doesn't have to be out in the elements up top. Pops back in here with us as well. A nice crew for a great first-round matchup here as we are into playoff action here in Delaware. And the weather following suit. A chilly night here in Middletown, but could have been colder for this time of the year, so I'm sure they'll take it, all the players down on the field. 3rd and 9. Donovan Brooks going to look one-on-one, looking down the sideline, and that one out of the fingertips of his intended target. They went for the one-on-one coverage, launching it to Jason Askin-Brooks, the sophomore. So Donovan Brooks to Askins-Brooks, but this one falls incomplete.
Yeah, not a bad ball. He actually put that in a great position. If that ball wasn't going to get caught by his receiver, it wasn't going to get caught by anyone. Just a step, half a step, 2 out in front, and they're going to have to punt the ball away.
So now back to punt for St. George's. It's either going to be Donovan Brooks or Alexis McVeigh. This is going to be, I believe,
I think that's Brooks.
Brooks back there. So he's going to be a tough one for him. Heels are right at the back of the end zone. The long snapper, Reggie Lay. So it's a good snap, and they're able to get it off, does Brooks. It'll take a hop at the 30, but a Jaguar bounce. And it's going to hang right there at the 32-yard line. So great field position now here, Pat, as we're fresh into the second quarter for this APPO offense. They're going to be set up nicely here at the St. George's 31-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, this is where they want to be. A lot of things to open up the playbook, short field. This is a test here for St. George's. Are they going to be able to hold APPO here? And APPO, they started to, try to dip their pen a little bit in the passing game the last drive. Let's see if that continues here.
And we got some score updates, Pat, from around the state here. Playoff action tonight.
Hey, how about this one? Indian River up 7-6 over St. Elizabeth early in that game.
Ooh.
Supposedly, Kasim Benson potentially hobbled. Not 100%. It's something we're going to keep an eye on.
Out of the pistol, they'll go to McConomy on first down. Has a hole up the middle. And that's going to be good for about 7 yards on the first play.
Sorry, it was 7-6 St. E's over. It was 7-6 Indian River. That's what I thought. Sorry, we're getting updates live here, Nick.
I carry their
It's
Pat
St.
for
E's.
McConomy.
No, it's Indian River. No, it's St. E's. No, it's Indian River.
And we're up tempo again. McConomy with 7-yard carry, one of his best of the night so far. They'll go right back to him, but to no avail. He is wrapped up and slung down by the senior Amir Selby.
I mean, it hasn't worked. I get you're trying to, run to your strength, but you're also running against their strength. And St. George's defense up front with Cooks and Selby, with Ryder Hartman at the linebacker position in the middle of this defense. I'm trying to get him to the edge, and right now they're not doing it. Let's see if that changes, or if they continue trying to make this work.
3rd and 4, trips to the motion at the top of the screen. They'll fake it, and then right back to McConomy, and St. George's knew it was coming, but look at McConomy.
Whoa.
My goodness, carrying a group of Hawks forward. He'll pick up a few extra and make this 4th down opportunity a little bit easier for his offense.
Yeah, this kid is so hard to take down,
Yes.
Nick. I mean, he's so hard to take down. For a guy that's not very big, I mean, you're not talking about a Markel Holman who's 6 foot 195, 205 pounds, whatever he is. I don't think he's under 220, but he's listed at 190. I don't know, Markel. I don't know about that listing, buddy. But no, McConomy just he keeps the legs moving, man. It's impressive.
Pistol on 4th and 2. It's Glover and McConomy. They go to McConomy. They're going to trust Run DMC on 4th down. He's going to second effort. And we're going to have another measurement. Pat, once again, he was met at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But that second effort going to have him close to a new set of downs. We'll wait and see, and it's not going to get there. Another turnover on downs and another defensive stand here in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, St. George's is doing a great job, right? APPO is continuously trying to just pound it down their throat. They're just going to A-gap, 4 and 6 hole. You know, we may extend it out to the 3 and 7, but we're going up the middle between the tackles, and St. George's is up to the challenge so far. They got to keep doing that and hope that APPO doesn't decide to just start trying to go east and west on this one. But, yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. St. George's up front in that interior has been up to the challenge and are getting the job done.
They said they're one of the keys of the game. You got to shut down number 24. Well, they're off to a good start, but a lot of game left here at Appoquinimink as Brooks in the gun on 1st and 10. Bailey Reed, they'll give it to White. And that ball almost came out. A good job to hold on to it was Terry White, the senior. He'll pick up a yard on 1st down.
Not a bad first down run. I mean, you get 2 or 3 yards. They're trying to establish the running game too, St. George's. This seems to be maybe a defensive battle we're in for, Nick.
And you know, again, if you know Coach Wilson loves to run and then set up the play action pass. And again, back when we played in 2010, or back when I did for him then, we like to open things up as well. Double slot, we throw the ball around a little bit. We saw Brooks take a shot on the one-on-one coverage down the sideline. 2nd and 8 for the St. George's offense from their own 25. Brooks will fake it. Now he's going to launch. Looking down the sideline this time and just out of the reach once again. They like that matchup. This time it was Brayton Fields, the sophomore, to the bottom of the screen. They're going to take some shots with these one-on-one coverages they're getting on the outside.
Yeah, they are. You know, they got to be careful, right? Because out here is Ethan Osebu. He's probably the 2nd most dangerous athlete on the field behind McConomy for Appoquinimink. And they also got to be aware of the sophomore number 19, Dylan Griffith. He led the state in interceptions last year. This year he's a first-team all-district safety. He's going to take one side of the field. Osebu's going to be on the other. So there's really no safe place to be throwing the football. But St. George's is going to try.
3rd and 8. They're going to set up the flare pass out of the backfield. That one falls incomplete.
I like it, though, Nick.
Looking to get it to Terry White.
Yeah, I like that. I like the flare pass. It was well defended there by APPO. You saw Edge Von Brandt as well as Osborne. Those guys were going out there to go after that play. But I like let's get the ball to our running backs in space. Let's not just keep trying to pound it where the 6'7" and the 6'5" and the 6'3" guys are clogging the lanes. I like this. Get them in space.
So Brooks yet to find a completion. 0 for 6 through the air here in the first half.
Yeah, he's been off. I mean, he's definitely been off, and he's thrown into tight windows. I mean, these defenders are right there for APPO.
Now some movement here up front, I believe, for St. George's. This might back them up 5 here ahead of the punt. Officials will get together. We'll see some movement up front. Could have been Jaden West here, the gunner to the near sideline. We'll wait and see.
Mikey Downs just took one in for the Vikings. 12-7, 2 missed extra points for St. E's. Talk about the extra, the special teams being important. They hold a 12-7 lead over Indian River, and Smyrna leads 16-0 over Cape early in that game, Nick.
Talking about special teams, last time these two met, the only points for St. George's coming on a kick return from Kwame Miller. So special teams going to be a point of emphasis, it seems like here tonight especially.
Defensive touchdown for the Vikings, 18-7.
How about that? That was a quick turnaround there. As Brooks is set to punt this one away on 4th and 12. He's sitting inside his own 10. He'll get it off the side of the foot, but it's going to have a good bounce on it.
That's a great
bounce.
And
that is a great punt. Is trying to go back for it for Appoquinimink was Bryce Thomas. And what a punt from his own 10.
I mean,
it's
Nick,
going to be into the
go ahead, add that up,
APPO
buddy.
21-yard line.
That's a 70-yard punt from the foot. So that ends up being a 60-yard net.
So how about that? You got Mason Reinhart pinning them back at the 1. Now Donovan Brooks gets a 70-yarder off of his foot. It is truly, as we mentioned, Pat, a defensive and special teams battle here in round 1 of the playoffs.
It's been this is fun, man. This is what we talked about this in the pregame,
football, right?
Nick. You talked about it in the pregame. APPO has completely changed the way that they play. They're a more formidable team at 6-4, and St. George's has been an under-the-radar team that's slowly improved as the season has gone on. You're seeing that play out on the field right now.
So APPO offense back out here at their own 20. Nielsen going to take it, hand off to DMC. They're going to try to get him outside here, Pat, but he ran right into 3. St. George's Hawks leading the way, I believe, was, of course, the middle linebacker and captain, Jamie Ryder Hartman.
He still picked up 3 yards on that play, but, yeah, I mean, they're trying to get him outside. However, the blocking was inside. There was no lead blocker coming off the edge. There was no pulling guard off the edge. It was, let's line up and try and run this ball up the middle, and he bounced it out. Great job. Way to stay disciplined by that St. George's defense. Those linebackers did not allow him to get outside and turn that into a big game.
It's going to be Hoff, Bell, and Reinhart, the trips to the top. Nielsen going to fake that, and now he'll hand it off on the halfback draw, and that's going to have McConomy with some open space in front of him. That's where he's at his best, and that's going to pick up about 12 yards, his longest carry of the night.
Patience, right? He showed good patience in the draw play there and was able to get into the second level, and you can see what he can do when he's able to get into the second level. So far today, he just hasn't been able to break through that line. Because that defensive front has done a tremendous job at the start of this game for St. George's.
No huddle here for APPO. They'll look to the sideline, get the play there, and they'll go back trips to the top of the screen here on 1st and 10. 7:39 and ticking, quarter number 2. Back to McConomy they go, has a hole, able to get through it and pick up 4 on first down, and now McConomy starting to get some chunks here in the run game.
And this is going to be something to keep an eye on, right? And I know, you guys back in the day under Coach Wilson were always in tremendous physical condition. How good a condition are these guys in for St. George's? Because that's going to be the key here. Because this isn't going to stop. You are going to continue to get a 24-ounce dose of Run DMC, and you better be ready for it. And you better hope it doesn't wear you down.
3 receivers, make it 4, double slot as Hodgebell goes in motion. They'll pitch it to him on the jet sweep, looking to cut upfield, able to get to the sideline and pick up 1 as he was hit hard on the far sideline. Jalen Schoolfield, the senior, coming up and making the tackle.
He missed the cut up. It was a great job. I believe that was number 54, which is Amir Selby, that was able to keep the outside arm free and pretty much made Bell have to completely bow his line out, which allowed the linebackers to get on the pursuit angles. If he cuts up, he probably gets an additional 3 or 4 yards there. But he strung him out. He tried to get to the outside and allowed those linebackers, and Jace Munson and Givens and Hackett, those guys to get to the ball.
A loss of a couple there, I believe, for Hodge Bell. There was a flag on the APPO offense. I believe the St. George's coaching staff deciding to decline the penalty. So now they'll have 3rd and 8. So interesting, could have gone either way. I'm not sure how. And then we'll have a timeout APPO. That's their 2nd timeout of the first half. They'll have 1 remaining, Pat. But that time, again, St. George's choosing to, I believe, decline the holding penalty after the short game from Hodge Bell.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, you're getting an additional down. You got to trust. You're trusting your defense. I mean, this defense has been up to the challenge here, Nick. Only a few first downs tonight for APPO. Don't give them the extra down. And also, that's another down your defense has to be on the field. This is going to be one of those games where who outlasts who. I want to keep your guys fresh.
And again, look at the defensive keys of the game from Coach Wilson. It's contain number 24. And again, make tackles. You got to eliminate the big plays. They've done a good job of that so far. And he mentioned being a bend but not break defense. So both defenses off to good starts here. 6:37 remaining, half number 1, and a 3rd and long upcoming for the Jaguar offense. As it looks like Nielsen going to be in the shotgun. McConomy, the lone back, sitting behind him in the pistol. And it's going to be double slot for APPO on 3rd and 8. Nielsen will take the snap. He's going to look left down the middle. Fire, has his man who makes the catch. That's Ethan Osebu, and he's going to go down the sideline for big yardage. And we're going to have, I believe, a flag on the play.
Yeah, I don't know, Nick.
Or maybe.
Well, let's see.
And the chains are moving.
I think they just said he stepped out of bounds a lot sooner than we
No
than we
flag.
saw.
I apologize to
you're
everyone
good.
at home.
But there you go,
with a
Nick.
big play, Pat.
Yeah, there you go. Nick Osebu is, that's one of Glenn's favorite guys. He liked Ethan Osebu a lot. He's like, I guarantee you they're going to get him the ball a little bit more second half of the year. He was hurt. He had a couple, weeks where he was injured, but he's going to be another guy to keep an eye on.
Halfback draw to McConomy, able to break a tackle. He's going to make something out of nothing. Was contacted behind the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up 4. And on that first down carry.
Yeah, and that's not bad, though. You get 3 yards. McConomy turned something into nothing. Or he turned nothing into something. Always mess that line up, man. I don't know why, man. It's been like that all year. But yeah, I mean, you can see the benefit of finding ways to get some of your other weapons the ball. Osebu with a big-time run, and then, what typically has been a 1-yard gain turns into a 4-yard gain.
Out of the gun. Nielsen again going to put it in the air down the middle of the field, and that one is intercepted. And now going to go for the return is Reggie Lay, the sophomore. And a big turnover for the St. George's defense after APPO was starting to get a little momentum offensively.
Yeah, and, I mean, you saw right there the freshman kind of eyed up his target, Osebu. There seemed to be a little bit of stoppages of the route. And he threw that ball into tight coverage with the safety help over the top. A lot of times when you got a cover 3 or a cover 2, you got a safety in the middle of the field, you can't throw the deep ball down the middle of the field. Unless you see that safety somehow fly up, you can't throw it. He threw it a dangerous pass. Credit to St. George's for forcing a turnover.
Reggie Lay's 3rd interception of the season comes at a huge time here. Now they'll hand it off on first down, and wrapped up by Edge Von Brandt is Kwame Miller for a loss on first down, or maybe a no gain.
Yeah, it's Von Brandt, freshman, kind of coming into his own. His brother obviously was here for 4 years, Ryan Von Brandt. He's kind of carried on that legacy, and, he's only going to get better as his career goes on, too.
Kwame Miller, though, 6 carries for 45 yards. Again, had that big first 2 for 43 on the opening drive. We'll see if they get him more involved. He's also playing slot receiver. They like to use him at a few different positions. 5:04 and ticking here in the first half. Still a 0-0 ball game between number 2 APPO and number 7 St. George's. A rematch of a Week 4 game that APPO won 21-7, and there's a bad snap. And Brooks able to hop on it, Pat. We talked about the backup in at center, Dayon Cannon. It looks like Kyle Jones was able to get back out on the field. So he's back out at center, and that's just a missed snap. And again, when we talked to Coach Wilson, he talked about limiting mistakes, and that was one of the things he mentioned. Yeah,
and you saw right there, that's a big-time loss.
Could be a drive killer, right?
Well, there you go. I mean, he talked about what they wanted to try to limit. That's a drive killer. Absolutely is, Nick.
We'll see how they respond now. It's going to be 3rd and 26 after the no gain on the first down carry and the big loss on the snap over the head of Brooks on second down. 4:11 and ticking. Trips now to the bottom of the screen for Brooks. Miller runs to the flat. Brooks now going to step up in the pocket, fire across, and look into the sideline for Askin Brooks, but also had a receiver down the middle of the field as well. And
that'd have been a tough one. The one in the middle would have been hard to hit. That was a good ball. That ball's got to be caught. Ball's got to be caught right there, Nick. He's had a couple of drops.
And again, we just talked about it, our point of emphasis, limit the mistakes. Another thing he mentioned were penalties, stuff like that long snap. And then he also talked about specifically about dropped passes, a bad one there.
Yeah, it's a tough one right there. I mean,
would have been a long run to get the first down. However, for Askin Brooks, the talented sophomore,
it would have allowed you though to potentially flip the field position, right? I mean, that's what it would have definitely helped. Now you're punting out of your end zone.
Yeah, last time it was good for 70. It'll be hard to do that again. So Brooks going to get rid of it at the 4-minute mark. Going to be a high one coming up, and that's going to be a muffed punt as it lands off the helmet of an APPO Jaguar. That was off the mask of Bryce Thomas.
Now, this is interesting,
It
Nick.
is interesting, Pat. Let's wait and see.
There was a whistle blew before that ball made contact with the receiver. Why was that? I don't know.
I mean, there should be for no reason a whistle blown during a play for any reason. That one was off the face mask of Thomas. Would be a crucial turnover for the Jaguars. We'll see what the officials do here.
Are they going to say inadvertent whistle here? They're moving the ball back.
Are they going to re-punt, it looks like?
They're going to redo this. I don't know what the whistle was for. I'm not sure what the whistle was. I don't know. Maybe the play was supposed to be blown dead. Did someone call a timeout?
Again, we can't hear the explanation up in the press box. I'm sure the coaches got an explanation down on the field.
And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of argument
No, there really
on either
doesn't.
sideline. So whatever the case is, it's understood by both coaches, which is important. I don't know what that call was.
I don't as well. Either way, Brooks
Not to
set to
mention
repunt it.
the amount of time that came off the clock is not being put back on. There's 4:02 on the clock before the last snap.
He'll kick this one on a line right back to Thomas, who makes the catch now at the 45. Going to make a fender miss, get up near the 35. So a good return there for Bryce Thomas to set APPO up with, once again, pretty good field position. They're at the St. George's 37 with 3:44 to go here in half number 1.
Yeah, I mean, again, another prime position here in a scoreless game. We knew this was going to be a battle, Nick, and it's lived up to it. You got to throw the seedings away.
Yeah.
Right? St. George's and APPO are a lot closer in terms of their comparability than a 2-7 matchup. This isn't your typical 2-7 matchup.
Yeah, 10-minute drive from St. George's to Appoquinimink, I believe.
Yeah, it's not that long. You're right,
Not that
bud.
long. These two teams know each other. Again, met back in week 4. Both teams coming a long way since then. APPO, your District 1 champions, and the 2 seed here in Class 3A. 1st and 10 for Nielsen in the gun. Give it to Run DMC. It's McConaughey up the middle, dive to the left side. And St. George is ready for it for a short gain. McConaughey now, Pat, 17 carries for 59 yards. And that is very unlike DMC, but you got to give credit to that St. George's defense. They have been stout up front.
Yeah, they know that Nielsen has established himself as a passer, but that does not seem to affect their game plan. They said the focus is stopping 24, and they've done it. They've limited him, and he's now above what their target really is. He's on pace for 35 carries.
Another halfback draw to McConaughey, some space down the sideline. He might be up and past that first down marker. He was pushed down, hard to see from our perspective. And once again, Pat, we're seeing the success for the APPO offense come when they're going to load it to the bottom or to the top. They go trips or quad to the right or top and bottom of the screen, and then they go halfback draw to the opposite side. But this one's going to come back.
Yeah, the holding's going to hurt. I like the idea, but you got to stay disciplined if you're St. George's on that weak side. I mean, you got to try and recognize what they're trying to do. And until they start hitting you with the passing game a little bit more consistently, you just got to assume at some point they're not going to run 3 pass plays in a row, right?
Yes.
You may get 1. I don't even know if you'll get 2 in a row. But
I doubt it, but you never know, right?
you never know.
They
man.
could now. That's the thing about this Jaguar offense. They could if they wanted to here.
It's
And
false-
another
it's
whistle.
false
and-
start. And again, I mean, it wasn't going anywhere. St. George's is doing a good job between the tackles, making plays and just not allowing there to be any kind of running lanes for McConaughey.
Back-to-back penalties against the APPO offense here. That's going to back them up a big chunk. So after the first down carry, or excuse me, after the halfback draw was brought back on a holding, we're going to have a full start here, and it's going to be 2nd and a mile here for the APPO offense, and they're going to be right smack at midfield.
Yeah, they're going backwards.
2nd and 24 after the penalty here. 2.5 minutes for them to work with. Pat trips to the top of the screen. They'll go to McConaughey up the middle.
There's nothing there. I mean, there's just
Nothing
nothing
there.
there. I mean, this is just really good fundamental defense by St. George's, holding their ground and not allowing McConaughey to get into the second level of defense.
Yeah, getting there was Odai Morgan alongside Emery Womack. And I believe we'll have a stoppage
Timeout.
down on the
APPO.
field. So that's going to be APPO's last timeout. I have St. George's with 3 left.
Yes.
I have APPO with none. So with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in half number 1, Coach Timpson going to want to talk things over with his squad again. And a lot of hype here the last week or so, as they earned it, winning that District 1 championship, and a lot of the awards and accolades to a lot of these players that we're having a chance to check out tonight for the Jaguars and getting a home playoff game here tonight as the 2 seed.
Yeah.
They've run into a pretty tough number 7 seed in St. George's.
St. George's has come out. They've had a great game plan, Nick, defensively in particular. And, they've benefited. They forced turnovers. They've stopped McConaughey. They have not allowed him to really get loose. The game script's kind of playing in their favor, right? It's been a run-heavy type flow for both offenses. That's allowed this game to limit possessions. And defensively, I mean, both teams have come out with good good game plans defensively, but I've been really impressed with St. George's and their compete level here today.
3rd and 21. Let's see if they hand it off. Try to get St. George's to use the timeouts or put it in the air. Motion for Osebu, trips to the bottom. Nielsen going to look to the lone side, fire into double coverage, and that ball is almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Emery Womack, who made the tackle a few moments earlier, and that time the freshman throwing into double coverage over the middle.
Yeah, he locked into his first target there. I mean, there was triple coverage on one receiver, and you had 3 receivers to this near side. He just made a misread on which side of the field he was going to make a play on, because I mean, usually these young quarterbacks at this level, they're being taught you're going to look up pre-snap, you're going to look at the defense, and you're going to pick a side that you're going to read. Because, I mean, these guys, it's just there's not enough time, not enough processing time to be able to read the entire field. So you pick one. He picked the left side. He probably should have picked the right side where the matchups were. It's a freshman mistake.
Reinhardt will boot it away. The talented punter pinned him at the 1 last time. This one will have at the 35. And coming up and making a play on it. You like to see that. How about the speed? And he's going to be off. Down the sideline. There he goes into the end zone. A huge play for St. George's from Reggie Lay, who had the interception earlier. And how about the heads-up play on special teams? Pat, that is something you've been preaching for years. It bounces up. Nobody was around it. In comes Lay. He picks it up, takes it down the sideline for a huge touchdown. We'll call it 70 yards and a score.
Yeah, Nick, you're right. I mean, that's exactly what I've been talking about for years. Everybody just assumes if the ball bounces on the field, oh, it's okay, just let it bounce. We don't have to do anything. We stop what we're doing. Someone will go down and touch it. And finally, Reggie Lay is a perfect example. I want to clip this, and I want to send it, put a highlight film together. This is exactly what you do. No one got to the ball. I'm going to run up, and I'm going to make a play for my team. He did it. That could be a game changer right there, Nick.
Kick is up and in, and just like that, St. George's gets the first score of the game on special teams. It was their only touchdown back in week 4. It's their first one here tonight in round number 1. The Hawks leading APPO 7-0. We'll be right back with second quarter action right here on Delaware Live Sports.
I'm Chef Hari Cameron. At Grandpa Mac, pasta's our thing. We serve quality food fast that's not fast food. We make everything in-house and serve something for everyone. We're open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Follow the noodle to Grandpa Mac.
Reggie Lay going to remember this one for a while. Interception number 3 on the season. Earlier in the game, that time he takes a punt 70 yards for a score. The first of tonight's matchup with APPO. In round 1 of the playoffs, he is showing up. The sophomore going to be here for a few years down the road as well, but he's had a phenomenal first half for St. George's. He gives them the lead.
Well, with limited opportunities to make plays in space, you're going to have to take advantage of them when you get them. Lay, he read the field. He saw an opportunity. There's no one in front of me if I go up and grab this ball. The risk is it may take a weird bounce on me, and now, boom, that's the risk he decided to take. He caught it on a clean hop, and there was one man to beat, and he was gone. You got to take those opportunities when you get them in a game that's this much of a defensive battle where there's just everybody's figured out a way to stop everybody. You take advantage of the openings when you get them. Lay did that, and now St. George's early lead, that pressure starts to mount for APPO.
I was just about to ask you the pressure for the number 2 seed here at home. They got 2 minutes, though, to work with left in the first half. We'll see if they decide to put it in the air.
And St. George's, I think, will take a timeout. Now preserving a lead, they want to make sure they got the correct formation out there, the correct alignment, the correct personnel.
Again, that's how they break open the scoring. So St. George's in 2 matchups with APPO. They've played almost 6 quarters. They have 2 scores, one on a kick return and one on a punt return. The offense, they'd like to score as well, but St. George's up 7-0 thanks to Reggie Lay on the punt return. And you talked about the pressure now for Appoquinimink and this offense here with a freshman quarterback in Greg Nielsen. Their strength being the run game, which has been slowed down here in the first half with Run DMC. Now you're trailing 7-0. What's your mindset here, the APPO Jaguars?
Yeah, I mean, okay, you've been given economy to football. You got to continue to do that. I'm not saying you're not. Ethan Osebu, he's going to be a guy. You saw he got the ball in his hands one time and he made some electric plays happen. Noah Huff, another guy, hasn't been targeted yet.
No.
those are the guys I think you got to look for to try and get the ball into some of your other playmakers' hands to see if you can, spread this defense out a little bit.
They'll hand it off here on first down. Runs right into number 10, Jace Munson. 5.5 sacks for the year. That's a TFL as he tried to stretch it to the outside.
Great job. I mean, St. George's seems to know the playbook right now, right? They seem to figure it out. They're trying to give the ball off to McConomy to either the right or the left, off tackle, up the middle, and have him pick a hole and go. Just make sure you keep your outside contained. The linebackers are going to clean it up in the middle, and they've been doing that all game, and it's been great. It's been great, and there hasn't been anything on the edge. The few times that they've gotten big plays, it was Sabu on the edge. They were able to get McConomy to the outside. That's where but you got to get there. They've only been able to get there a handful of times.
Hand it off again on second down, trying to go right back through the middle. A small hole will be tripped up by a shoestring tackle by the senior Billy Hackett. And I was going to ask you before if St. George was going to use another timeout after that first down play. They do not, but it looks like they'll call one here on second down to stop the clock with 1:04 to go.
Yeah, it forces a third down and long, and you take your time out after this third down. Now you get another opportunity to win in special teams, and where they're at on the field, if you can force them to punt from here, you may get good field position enough to where you can maybe take a couple shots down the field with no timeouts and maybe 45, 50 seconds left.
Daniel McConomy, 17 carries for 60 yards for the Offensive Player of the Year. And you mentioned it's playoffs. It's a little bit of a different game, right? You have a game plan coming in. Coach Wilson getting his guys ready for that run game for the Junior Offensive Player of the Year, coming in with over 1,900 yards, 19 touchdowns, 2,100 all-purpose yards. But that defensive line playing very well here early for St. George's. We'll see if that offensive line for APPO can get a good push behind the District Lineman of the Year at left tackle, Elijah Husser. But here they are with 3rd and 9, a minute to go. They'll hand it off, trying to run some more clock here in the first half. McConomy stood up as he gets maybe right back to the line. And once again, that St. George's defense going to come up with another stop. First person there that time was big number 55 for the Hawks, Jamal Ben Youssef.
I'm not sure why they're not taking the timeout, but they're not. Interesting.
And again, Pat, you score 7-0. Are you content? Maybe you don't want to turn the ball over, give them any momentum. What are you thinking if you're Coach Wilson here, going to let the clock run?
I don't know what they're thinking. I think they're thinking they're happy up 7-0. That's what I think that they're thinking. They're content up the score, and either way, looks like they're maybe going to get a punt here. You're probably going to get a 5-yard penalty for delay of game, and then a punt from APPO. And
we don't see Reinhardt there yet, so we'll have a whistle. So we must have missed something.
Yeah,
Turns out APPO has a timeout left.
Interesting.
Again, that is interesting because I thought we were being pretty good on the timeouts here in the first
we were. I thought we were too, Nick. Not to toot my own horn, but and maybe we missed one side or the other. Maybe St. George's doesn't have one, and APPO is the one that had the one in hand.
Maybe, for sure.
And that's why, because we were sitting here like, why is the St. George calling a timeout right here?
Maybe that makes sense.
Maybe they didn't have any.
Makes sense, right?
Well,
you can't bat 1,000, right?
What are you going to do, right? I mean,
So short time here remaining in half number 1. It's been a defensive battle throughout. Again, the only difference coming on a punt return that looked like it was just going to stay put until Reggie Lay came up and fielded it on a tough bounce, took it to the house 68 yards. So here we go, 4th and 6 for the APPO offense. Could be the last play of the half here as the punt team on the field. Reinhardt, the deep man. It's going to be a hop. Good job by Reinhardt to get that one off.
Yeah, he's lucky. Now, the bad part is it's not going to bounce to run the clock out, but that could have been disastrous with the roller back there like that.
A nice play by Mason Reinhardt, the senior punter, to maybe save like you said, a disaster there as time was winding down in the first half. So we'll have 4 seconds to go for Donovan Brooks and company here with a 7-0 lead.
Take a shot here, Nick. Take a shot. Tell Donovan, drop back. 4 verts, like old Madden.
There you
back
go.
in the day, 4 verts.
Launch it up there.
Take your pick here. But don't, after that ball goes in the air, you got to watch. You got a dangerous guy back there in Griffith. If this thing's intercepted, you're going to have to come up and make a tackle.
So we'll see what Coach Wilson decides to do. It's going to be trips to the bottom, 1 receiver to the top.
Does Brooks got the arm? Let's see if he's got the arm to get it there.
Askin Brooks is the lone guy at the top of your screen. They do have a running back to the right of Donovan with 4 seconds to go. So 1 play here to end the half. Here comes pressure. Brooks going to step up. This one didn't get a great throw on it. That's going to be in the hands of Hodge Bell, who makes the interception, and that's how the first half will come to a close. Pat, again, the difference. Reggie Lay on a 68-yard punt return for a touchdown. Both defenses showing up here. It's been a big battle in half number one.
It has, and this has been what we anticipated. We figured this was going to be a tight game. I got to be honest with you, the defenses have stepped up big time here, man. That's been the thing that stood out the most. I think both teams have had great defensive game plans, which has kind of stifled both offenses. You've seen APPO, get run heavy. They've gotten run heavy here in the first half, and when they did pass, Nielsen's made a couple of mistakes. He had the interception as well. Who would have thought? Difference in this game is the special teams play, and St. George's is in a great prime, perfect situation to pull off an upset. Let's see if they can do it.
Should be a great second half here from APPO High School. Number 2 Jaguars versus number 7 Hawks. We will pause here at the break. You're going to hear once again from Glenn Frazier, who had a chance to sit down with both head coaches prior to the game today. We'll play both of those interviews for you at the half, and then when we come back, we'll get you first half stats and ready for third quarter action right here on Delaware Live Sports. St. George's leading APPO 7-0 after one half of play.
Glenn Frazier with the head coach John Wilson of St. George's Tech. And Coach, you just got into the playoffs, but you were involved in a lot of close games this year, especially I recall the 2-point loss that you had to Salesianum. You've had some close wins. You had some close defeats. What does it feel like in the locker room, out on the practice field? What's the atmosphere of your team going into this playoff game?
Well, it's been good. I'll tell you, we always divide it in two halves of the season. We have our first half, which was really discouraging. We went 1-4, and the second half was much better. We went 3-5. 3-5. So it was much better for us to get us under our feet. We have pretty much a new offensive line. Every lineman is an underclassman. We made some changes there. You have to be good in the trenches, but our skill has been good. And I'll tell you what, the kids have been great. They've been continually working hard to get better. And I'll tell you, the positive leadership we have on this team has been tremendous, because anytime you lose, it's difficult, but the kids have just maintained an eye on getting to this point where we are right now. And they knew it was at stake the last couple of games, and they took advantage of it.
It's been a while since you played Appoquinimink. The Jaguars have finished pretty strong, but they're a little bit of a different team when you played them back in October 1st. It was mostly a run game with Daniel McConomy, but now they've thrown in a little bit of a passing attack. So what do you see from your opponent coming into this game Friday night?
Well, yeah, I think they have a new quarterback playing for them, but McConomy ran for 35 carries and 200 some yards against us the first time, and I realized he ran for another 35 carries. So it may appear different, but he's going to get the ball, we know. So it's no different in terms of that. We know the main threat is trying to tackle him, but they've opened up their passing game. I think same as us, the first half of the season, not a lot of touchdowns thrown, but second half they've had quite a few more. Especially that was evident in the last game against Sally's, which helped open up things for them.
A final question, Coach. What do you see as the key for your team to have success in the ball game?
We talk about a lot of times on the offensive side, eliminate the drive killers. Starting behind the chains. Turnovers, things of that sort. But on the defensive side of the ball, making sure we line up right, making sure we, react to what our keys are, and making sure that we tackle upstairs. It comes down to two things you got to do well in any football game: block and tackle. And if we do those two things, we feel we have a good chance as anybody else in this game.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you and your team Friday night.
I appreciate you, Glenn. Thank you.
Glenn Frazier with the head coach John Wilson of St. George's Tech. And Coach, you just got into the playoffs, but you were involved in a lot of close games this year, especially I recall the 2-point loss that you had to Salesianum. You've had some close wins. You had some close defeats. What does it feel like in the locker room, out on the practice field? What's the atmosphere of your team going into this playoff game?
Well, it's been good. I'll tell you, we always divide it in two halves of the season. We have our first half, which was really discouraging. We went 1-4, and the second half was much better. We went 3-5. 3-5. So it was much better for us to get us on our feet. We have pretty much a new offensive line. Every lineman is an underclassman. We made some changes there. You have to be good in the trenches, but our skill has been good. And I'll tell you what, the kids have been great. They've been continually working hard to get better. And I'll tell you, the positive leadership we have on this team has been tremendous, because anytime you lose, it's difficult, but the kids have just maintained an eye on getting to this point where we are right now. And they knew it was at stake the last couple of games, and they took advantage of it.
It's been a while since you played Appoquinimink. The Jaguars have finished pretty strong, but they're a little bit of a different team when you played them back in October 1st. It was mostly a run game with Daniel McConomy, but now they've thrown in a little bit of a passing attack. So what do you see from your opponent coming into this game Friday night?
Well, yeah, I think they have a new quarterback playing for them, but McConomy ran for 35 carries and 200 some yards against us the first time, and I realized he ran for another 35 carries. So it may appear different, but he's going to get the ball, we know. So it's no different in terms of that. We know the main threat is trying to tackle him. But they've opened up their passing game. I think same as us, the first half of the season, not a lot of touchdowns thrown, but second half they've had quite a few more. Especially that was evident in the last game against Sally's, which helped open up things for them.
A final question, Coach. What do you see as the key for your team to have success in the ball game?
We talk about a lot of times on the offensive side, eliminate the drive killers. Starting behind the chains. Turnovers, things of that sort. But on the defensive side of the ball, making sure we line up right, making sure we, react to what our keys are, and making sure that we tackle upstairs. It comes down to two things you got to do well in any football game: block and tackle. And if we do those two things, we feel we have a good chance as anybody else in this game.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you and your team Friday night.
I appreciate you, Glenn. Thank you.
Glenn Frazier with the head coach John Wilson of St. George's Tech. And Coach, you just got into the playoffs, but you were involved in a lot of close games this year, especially I recall the 2-point loss that you had to Salesianum. You've had some close wins. You had some close defeats. What does it feel like in the locker room, out on the practice field? What's the atmosphere of your team going into this playoff game?
Well, it's been good. I'll tell you, we always divide it in two halves of the season. We have our first half, which was really discouraging. We went 1-4, and the second half was much better. We went 3-5. 3-5. So it was much better for us to get us on our feet. We have pretty much a new offensive line. Every lineman is an underclassman. We made some changes there. You have to be good in the trenches, but our skill has been good. And I'll tell you what, the kids have been great. They've been continually working hard to get better. And I'll tell you, the positive leadership we have on this team has been tremendous, because anytime you lose, it's difficult, but the kids have just maintained an eye on getting to this point where we are right now. And they knew it was at stake the last couple of games. And
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the flavors of Southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of craft cocktails and local beer, Blue Coast is the perfect spot for a night out. Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round for lunch and dinner. See you soon.
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Sports. Nick Allison Drini alongside Pat Garanis. Nick Halliday to our left, staying warm in the press box today, as we've got a good one, a defensive battle in round 1 of your Class 3A playoffs here in the state of Delaware. Number 2 and your District 1 champion, Appoquinimink Jaguars, welcoming the St. George's Hawks, who are seated 7th from just down the road here to Jaguar Stadium. Pat, it was a battle of defenses in the first half, and the one scoring play, a 68-yard punt return for Reggie Lee and the St. George's punt return team. We saw them with a kickoff return back in week 4, and now the only score through a half a play tonight for both teams is that punt return of St. George's leading 7-0. What'd you see in that first half?
Saw a great defensive game plan from both sides there. Both programs came to play today, and right now the difference is that one big play that you talked about. Neither team can panic right now. Like St. George's can't just sit back and relax, and Appo can't panic right now. This game's very much up for grabs. A couple adjustments here or there to kind of better utilize the talent, the skill sets that they have on offense, I think could be the difference in this game. It's going to depend on who's going to come up with that clutch adjustment.
Let's get you some stats from the first half. Again, not a lot of offense in this one, a lot of defense, a few turnovers. But you look down at the stats, you've got your Offensive Player of the Year for Appo, Pat. Again, over 1,900 yards, 2,100 all-purpose, 19 touchdowns. And you talked about the game plan from Coach Wilson and the St. George's defense. They did a great job of limiting him there in the first half.
Yeah, less than 3 yards per carry, if I'm not mistaken, when you average it out. That's mission accomplished for Coach John Wilson. Not to mention 20 carries, right? This late in the season, he's on pace for 40. I think that may be a little too much. It also makes your offense a little more predictable. Appo has not been able to get the passing game going, as you can see statistically. And St. George's, let's not fail. I mean, St. George's offensively hasn't been able to figure it out either. I mean, 64 yards on the ground is respectful. They haven't completed a pass yet. So they haven't been able to make something happen through the air raid. The difference is the Reggie Lee 68-yard punt return for a touchdown. That's exactly like you said. That's the difference in the game. But statistically, these two teams are playing fairly evenly right now. Who's going to make a play? That's what it comes down to.
That is. You're absolutely right about that. And you talked about the 64 yards on the ground for St. George's. 43 of them came on the first 2 carries of the game for Kwame Miller. So that just tells you, again, how both offenses have struggled there in the first half. Not a lot of total yardage going around here at Appoquinimink High School tonight, at least through the first half of action. We've got 5 minutes until we get the third quarter underway. But you had some stats, and if you told Coach Wilson and the St. George's Hawks, hey, Donovan Brooks 0 for 8 with an interception, and you're up 7-0 at the half, I'm sure he would have taken that.
Yeah, absolutely. You take that. And now it just comes down to how do you manage this game to preserve the lead and stop a potentially dangerous team from getting back into this.
And Pat, and you look to the other side for Appoquinimink, the second seed, the District 1 champs. We talked, a lot of talk in the last week after the big win over Sally's to clinch the district. Coach Timpson, your district coach of the year. If you're Coach Timpson in the Apple Jaguars, what adjustments do you have to make now coming out here in the second half, again, after getting shut out in half number 1?
Well, I think you got to try and mix in the passing game a little bit, and I think you got to get McConomy in space somehow. Maybe you flare him out into the flat and throw him a couple of passes. I think you got to try and get the ball in Osebu's hands as well as Huff, like we talked about right before the break. That's going to be the key. If you can get the ball into those 3 guys' hands and not solely rely on Run DMC, you got a chance in this one.
Yeah, still 4 minutes away. We had Duke and Delaware. Duke was up 42-36 at home over the Delaware Blue Hens tonight in college basketball action. They've stretched that lead now to 52-40 about 5 minutes into the second half. Again, Duke, your 7th-ranked team in the nation. The Blue Hens making a nice trip down to North Carolina yesterday. And again, so you got the basketball team taking on Duke tonight. Tomorrow, Villanova and Delaware in the Battle of the Blue. A chance of the playoffs on the line for the Hens. A big weekend, not just in high school football, but all around for Delaware here this week. So again, coming out of the break, we're going to take one more break here ahead of the third quarter action as both teams are hitting the field, stretching it out ahead of the second half. So we'll be right back with third quarter action here on Delaware Live Sports. It's APPO and St. George's separated by one score.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the flavors of Southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of craft cocktails and local beer, Blue Coast is the perfect spot for a night out. Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round for lunch and dinner. See you soon.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the Raw Bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon.
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. When someone called me to do a job, I always said yes. Whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals.
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a family with them. We really create a family experience around here.
And Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.
At And they get on the field quick here at Appoquinimink High School. We are back for second half action. Nick Alessandrini alongside Pat Garianis and Nick Halliday. And we got a chance also to see John Busby, who's a few rooms down, doing the PA here for Appoquinimink. Always nice to see him.
Always great to see the Buzz man. Yeah, absolutely. And, him and Marty, the Delaware
Such
football,
a great job,
high school football podcast is just one of the top.
I was watching it today.
Yeah, it's great. The coverage that is all around the state is, I feel like, at an all-time high level.
I agree.
On multiple different avenues. And, these athletes now, they seem to be appreciative. I know Matt Hannock, shout out to him, St. Mark standout.
Yeah, absolutely.
He gave us a shout-out today on social, or the other day on social media, so that's definitely much appreciated. These athletes, they recognize that, man. And, this is who it's all for.
Right,
This is who it's all
they
for.
didn't have that back when we played, right? Back
No,
in
I wish, man.
Right, don't you wish? I was going to get.
Oh, boy, we're sorry at home. I know you're getting a little dizzy from what's going on. But
I had to go get the film from Coach Wilson on DVDs and then go watch them on a DVD player when I wanted to watch film on my own.
I'll tell you what, DE Preps was the only thing.
That's right.
And, that was controversial back then.
And we are underway. Second half action. That kickoff return fielded by Hodge Bell, who's carrying that ball loosely. But he's able to corral it. He's going to be brought down. Good coverage on the kickoff team for St. George's. Special teams has been big tonight. We'll see the role that it plays going forward. So the APPO offense going to come out first here, Pat. They need to get something going. We'll see what Coach Timpson had to say to them in the locker room. But you're trailing 7-0. Both offenses have yet to score here today. And we'll see if, again, APPO is going to stick to that game plan and try to pound McConomy until they wear down that St. George's D.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Yeah, right now this game's kind of been up and down, kind of like the camera work we just seen here recently. Can make you a little bit dizzy, but we're going to get it squared away. We're going to get it settled in. We're going to get it locked in, much like I expect these two teams to do in the second half.
So double slot on first down here for Nielsen, and they'll go right back to McConomy, who was the lone back right up the middle. And St. George's, they're ready for it. They've seen that play a few times tonight, and he's met by a host of Hawks.
Yeah, if you're St. George's, you're welcoming that because you've got that completely bottled up and figured out. If they want to continue to try and run the ball through, those 4 and 6 holes and, bounce it out to the 3 and 7, you got that handled. You don't have anything to worry about. You can feel pretty confident here in this second half. The question is going to be, is Appo going to mix it up? That's what it's going to come down to. If they mix it up, you got a chance to put this defense on their heels. Then maybe the middle opens up. But, so far, Appo going to try and force it down there, see if they can make some plays.
2nd and 8 from their own 19. Motion to form trips to the top. Here comes pressure. Nielsen gets it up, and that ball's intercepted. He was hit as he threw, and the St. George's defense with another turnover. And can you guess who? This time it's Emery Womack, the sophomore. He's got his 3rd interception of the year. So Reggie Lee and Emery Womack both with pick number 3 here in this one.
Great edge pressure from Amir Selby and Jamal bin Yusuf. They came off the edge there, and they were able to hit Nielsen as he threw, and that ball was floating in the air for the interception. St. George's has come out with a tremendous defensive game plan. They are swarming all over the field, and now they got an opportunity to really, really, really put their hands all over the momentum in this game if they can put it in right here for 6.
Red zone opportunity. First play is going to go to Kwame Miller. He has some green grass in front of him, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds near the goal line. He's going to be close to that pylon. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 1 for Kwame Miller, an 18-yard carry on his first of half number 2.
Wonderful job there by Miller. And how about that? St. George's was able to get the edge and get to the outside, and now again they are on the doorstep of taking a 2-score lead in this game and really quieting this crowd here at Appoquinimink.
It was the pressure, as you mentioned, Pat, that helped cause that interception. Brooks down the shotgun, 1st and goal from the 1. White's the running back. They'll give it to him. He's going to lower his shoulder, trying to get in, and he does. A touchdown for St. George's, our first touchdown offensively of the night here at Appoquinimink, and now a 2-possession lead for the Hawks on the road.
Great job by St. George, taking advantage of the turnover, wasting no time. They get a big run down to the goal line, and then let me put it right down the middle of your defense for 6. Love it. I love what I'm saying. St. George's, this is how you pull an upset off. You come out, you put up a stout defensive effort, and you control the clock offensively with your running game. It's what they've done, and it is successful. It's been successful for the beginning of time in football, and it's successful right now.
The extra point is going to be blocked, got a hand on it, and a missed PAT, so that's going to hold it to 13-0. But St. George's, again with their first offensive touchdown, but it was the defense setting it up as we talked about. Emery Womack coming up with the interception on the throw from the freshman Nielsen. He has 2 picks tonight, struggling a little bit, but that time it was the pressure that got to him.
It was, and great blitz call up right there. I mean, I feel like they brought more than the defensive, offensive line could hold, and that allowed the 2 interior defensive linemen of Ben Yusuf and Selby to come off the edge and get the pressure, because the linebackers were who got picked up by those offensive linemen. This is exactly what you need to do if you're St. George's to come out and you started this thing off. You force a turnover on the second play from scrimmage, and you score on the fourth. And you now have scored gone up 2 scores now within the opening minute and 15 seconds of the third quarter, and APPO doesn't know what just hit him.
And now we'll see if that alters again. They did throw the ball there on that last drive, and they might have to put it in the air again. Just a 2-possession game, a lot of football left, and kickoff is going to be kicked deep and then returned by Hodge Bell. Going to look for somewhere to go, has a hole, makes a cut. Now here comes the speed. Hodge Bell, he's going to get out to the 40 before he's brought down by a Hawk. That was 44, Josiah Fife, the sophomore linebacker who brought him down on the kickoff team. But now here comes this offense, and again, Greg Nielsen getting a lot of praise as he earned the past 5 weeks quarterbacking for APPO. 40 completions, 800 yards in the last 5 games. A struggle against the St. George's D tonight. Just 2 of 7 for 29 yards and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, it's a different stage right now. And I'll tell you what, the St. George's defense seems to know what's coming.
Here's
so
the
it makes it a little bit harder.
Here's the Earthquake. A lot of success against Salesianum with it. It's going to be McConomy on the direct snap. But once again, only a few on the carry. Give him 3. And again, it's that push up front from Munson, Cook, Selby, Ben Yusuf, as well as those talented linebackers coming in and making plays for the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, St. George's, like I said, they've taken care of business. They know they had to stop the inside run, and they've done that. They dominated in that, actually.
2nd and 7, back to the Earthquake. Direct snap for
There you
APPO,
go.
and he's got room to run. This time it's not McConomy. It's going to be number 9, Jaden Glover, the fullback, and the junior with a big spark that APPO needed offensively, a huge carry.
Huge carry right there, and everybody's got their focus on 24. And it comes down to, can you get someone else the ball? Can you get someone else in rhythm to soften this defense up? That was a great job right there of utilizing another one of your weapons. Oh, boy.
And they're going to fumble. They tried to go up tempo. You saw Coach Timpson wave them to the line of scrimmage. They ran up to the line, tried to get a play off quickly, trying to catch this defense from St. George's off guard, but fumbled the snap there. That carry for Glover, though, was good for 20.
Great job by Glover getting up top, getting upfield, making a play. And let's see. APPO now with a 2nd down and 12 after getting behind the sticks. They're going to continue in this. Maybe they're going to try and make something happen here with this Earthquake. I'm not quite sure what could happen.
They snap it. It's McConomy looking for a hole now, and he's going to be met
Great
and
tackle.
taken down. You took the words right out of my mouth, Pat. What a tackle by Reggie Lee.
Nick, I know as a former linebacker, that's got to get your juices flowing, buddy.
Fill the hole, Pat. Step in and fill that hole.
He did, and he invited the contact. Lee took it to McConomy. He was dancing, going to try and make a move. Lee said, I'm going to tackle you before you even make a decision. And he came through, and he ran through the running back. That's textbook by the sophomore. What a game he's had.
You said it. What a game for Reggie Lay, the sophomore, as you mentioned. But now a player down for the Hawks. You don't like to see this. Going to be one of those big fellas up front who have done such a great job. We don't have a number for you yet, but again, they've been fantastic at the point of attack, winning the line of scrimmage here for the Hawks so far tonight. But APPO now finally starting to put together a little drive here.
Yeah, they are, and let's see if they can continue to do it. I mean, it's 3rd down and long, though.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're in a tough spot, and that's, I mean, you're probably in 2-down territory, down 2 scores, and you're starting to run this Earthquake offense. Does Nielsen come back on the field? I mean, this is momentum that APPO needs to capitalize on, I feel like, Nick. I feel like this is a big moment in the game for them as a team. Let's see what they do.
Injured player was the senior Dayon Cooks, the backup left guard and starting defensive tackle. He'll head to the sideline, taking a few pats on the helmet from his teammates, and now we'll have a sub up front for that St. George's defensive line. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going. Coming in is number 52, Alexis McVeigh Mays, the junior. So 3rd and 13 for the Appo offense. Nielsen in the shotgun. That snap fell right into the hands of the Appo running back, and then out of his hands and recovered by Reggie Lee. Another turnover for the St. George's defense, but this one might have been self-inflicted by Appo.
I mean, it was a great job. Again, the defense is looking for 24. So you hit him back with Glover up the middle, and he was able to break through because they weren't anticipating him getting the ball. And he got a good 6 or 7 yards. You got to secure the football there, man. Got to secure the football, and St. George's did a good job. Once they realized that ball was loose, they stood him up, didn't allow him to continue forward to fall on it. And yet again, who's there? Mr. Opportunity tonight.
Just a sophomore, man. Reggie Lee putting it together. 56 tackles, 2 interceptions coming in. He's got a punt return for a touchdown, a pick, and a fumble recovery here tonight in this one.
Mr. Opportunity tonight, Reggie Lee.
And again, that was a weird play. That snap went through the hands of Nielsen into the chest of Glover. I'm not even sure if he was the one that was supposed to get the ball. Here's the first down carry for Miller, trying to get outside, and this time the Appoquinimink defense got him for no gain, coming up and making that play for Appo defensively was number 21, Cameron Porter, the senior defensive end.
You see the frustration mounting on the sideline for Appo. They got to keep their cool. They got to keep their cool. I mean, they're trailing right now by 2 scores, but they get a stop here. There's plenty of time in this football game. They just got to try and figure something out in terms of getting in a rhythm offensively.
Again, if you want to go back and replay it at home, that snap went through Greg Nielsen, who was supposed to catch it into the chest of Glover. So it's a crazy play there. St. George is now back on offense. Brooks looking for his first completion of the night. Not going to get it. A hand going to bat that one down. Might have been the big fella.
It was. Husser got his big paw up there, the big mitt. Knocked that pass down. That's what this is. What Appo needs to stop, man. A 3 and out would probably be the preference. A quick flip back to them. It's like as if nothing ever happened.
And again, Donovan Brooks now 0 for 9. Still looking for that first completion tonight after coming into the game throwing for 1,300 yards and 10 TDs. So 8:32, clock is stopped. 3rd and 10 now for the St. George's offense from their own 21-yard line. We'll see what Coach Wilson draws up here. And we'll be slot now to the left. Brooks will take it. Designed quarterback sweep to the right side. He's going to get to the sideline, does Brooks. Not going to be enough for first down yardage. But a good carry for number 2 in White. And now we'll see if we get the punt team or maybe decision time for St. George's, though they're playing with fire deep in their own territory.
Yeah, that clock continues to run. He must have got tackled in bounds. Yeah, I mean, it's man, get this clock running on our stream, Nick. Yeah, you know, St. George's is in a good spot right here. I mean, they can punt this ball away. It doesn't look like they're going to though. They're gonna go for the jugular here.
4th and 3.
Watch the hard count. Watch the hard count.
That's a good point, but I haven't seen any offside so far tonight. It's Brooks who's going to be in the shotgun, and now we'll have a timeout, St. George's. So they'll think it over. Maybe we'll see the punt team out of the timeouts with 7:46 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, 13-0 in favor of St. George's. Most recently, a touchdown carry for Terry White at the goal line after another interception for the St. George's defense. They picked off Greg Nielsen twice today, also returned a punt. But now Appo trying to get a stop here and see if they can get the ball back. And we'll see now. It looks like the punt team going to come out for St. George's. And looks like we'll have a change in the returner here maybe for Appoquinimink. It's going to now be number 19, Dylan Griffith. It was Bryce Thomas, the senior, the last 2 times. So they're putting the athlete, the playmaker, Griffith, back to receive, trying to see if he can give them a spark here on this punt return. Brooks has been putting them pretty low on a line. Could allow for a return. We'll see here as Brooks again going to put this one up. Going to be caught by Griffith at the 37. Looking for a hole. Makes 3 defenders miss. Trying to get up near midfield. He does, and into St. George's territory. As he bounced off a Hawk, he wanted to keep running. And he's saying he wasn't down. Pat, I've been there. Same thing happened to me. I got into the end zone, and my teammate blocked somebody in the back, and the play got called all the way back. DeAndre Davis, if you're listening.
Oh, by the government name, Nick. Oh, not holding
in his
back.
defense, I went off the defender, and he said keep running because he's the one that saw him. I didn't touch. I kept running, but he brought me back with the block in the back. Either way, a nice return that time for Griffith. He was able to get into St. George's territory, a 15-yard return. And now here comes the Appo offense. They're going to have to try to get something going, Pat. Back in the earthquake. To McConomy, direct snap, looking for a hole. He's going to dive forward and pick up 4 on first down.
And that's his best carry of the day in terms of a run that was based up the middle. APPO, look, some may call it stubborn, some call it persistent, right? They're sticking with it. They're not stopping their game plan. This is what they felt like they needed to do to execute. They're going to continue to do it.
21st carry for McConomy, and he's going to be wrapped up and pulled backwards as he ran into a host of defenders. That allowed the other Hawks to come behind him and just pull him from behind. No gain for McConomy, and he's going to be brought down by number 4, Jalen Schofield. So 21 carries, 67 yards for Run DMC. That is quite not what he's used to.
Well, yeah, and St. George's they got a great game plan right
Yes,
now,
they did.
and
They're playing very well.
APPO's they're gonna have to adjust. It's that simple.
Back in the earthquake pad on 3rd and 6. A host of Jaguars in the backfield. The snap to McConomy, looking for an area to run. He'll be brought down at the 40, gain of about 3 or 4. Now 3rd and manageable upcoming for the Jaguar offense, or excuse me, 4th.
4th down and 2.
Big play here.
Huge play, huge play. I think, obviously you'd like a stop if you're St. George's, but it's not completely imperative. You just want to continue to see that clock moving. And here you go. There's a run. He didn't get it. He didn't even get to the line of scrimmage, Nick. They quick snapped it. He got tripped up in the backfield, couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage, and another huge stop from St. George. Another run up the middle, and another unsuccessful conversion.
Unbelievable play by that St. George's defensive line, who has been stout. Those linebackers have been coming up and making plays. It has been a phenomenal effort through 2.5 quarters for this St. George's defense. Another turnover on downs for the Jaguars, and now St. George's will get the ball back. But the APPO defense going to have to stay stout. They've only given up points on the turnover deep in their own territory after the Nielsen interception. St. George's hasn't really been able to get anything going offensively either.
But now they don't have to. Now it's just run the ball, keep the clock moving. You're up 2 scores. I wouldn't have any kind of worry in the world about APPO scoring on you. You've bottled everything up. Just take care of the football and stay in bounds.
Brooks on the quarterback sweep around the right edge. He's been able to pick up 4 or 5. A good carry there on first down for Brooks. And now he's up to about 6 carries for 28 yards.
That's a good first down run. I mean, that's a good, 4 yards on first down.
You'll take that.
You'll take that, Nick. And St. George's again, hey, no rush. Get up to the line, take your time, look at the defense, waste some of the play clock before you run the ball again between the hashes.
Snap to Brooks out of the gun. This time they'll hand to Miller. What a cut inside. Found the hole he needed to. Was able to make, again, as we said a few times, something out of nothing. He'll pick up 2 or 3.
Yeah, great cut right there. Good jump cut to get up the middle and fall forward for yardage, because that was going to be a loss if he tried to bounce that outside.
I've been impressed with Kwame Miller. Again, they moved him to running back towards the end of the season. They said he was too fast, too explosive to not get the ball in his hands. Well, we're seeing that tonight. He's up to 65 yards on 8 carries.
Yeah, that was a good adjustment by St. George's, and both of these teams made adjustments to their game plan throughout the year, and that's why they are where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. 3rd and 3, big 3rd down for the St. George's offense and the APPO defense. Direct snap, Brooks going to try to get outside.
Oh, second effort,
and
Nick.
There it is, the second effort. He propels himself past the sticks for a new set of downs for the Hawks.
He bounced off a tackler there and spun around to get the first down. What a play by the young quarterback. And that's a big-time first down for Donovan Brooks and company.
Donovan Brooks, 817 yards, 13 rushing touchdowns on the season, by far the leader on the team. Obviously both passing and on the ground. Whenever they got close to the goal line or in general, Brooks was the one to carry it in. 23 total touchdowns coming into the game. 1st and 10 now into APPO territory. So motion, they'll turn, give to Miller. Miller, another nice cut inside, and he'll pick up about 2, though. APPO there ready for him, making the play coming up. Number 21, Cameron Porter, yet again.
I really love the way Kwame Miller runs the football, Nick. I know you alluded to it, and I completely agree with you. I mean, I get what Coach Wilson and that staff was thinking when they said he's too explosive not to get him the football, because this kid is dynamic back there. He's got great vision. I mean, he's got natural running back vision.
That's a great point, the vision, yeah.
I mean, he's made 3 or 4 cutbacks tonight that are absolutely imperative and they're turning losses into gains.
2nd and 8, under 4 now, ticking into the third quarter for Brooks, who sits with 2 running backs in the backfield. Quarterback power, he's going to follow both of them, but unable to get there. There he is, number 70, Elijah Husser. First team all-district defensive tackle, sheds a couple blocks and brings him down for a loss.
Yeah, great job by Husser. He's a guy that you got to, get a hat on. But again, St. George's, I'm not worried right now in the least bit. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're shortening this game up.
8 carries, 30 yards for Donovan Brooks. Tonight a late sub for Appoquinimink, as it looks like Tyler Shane, the junior honorable mention all-district, will head to the sideline.
You got man-to-man defense here. Let's see if St. George's goes with a pass. They will.
One-on-one. They love the one-on-one battle going down the sideline. That one hits off the back of Hodge Bell, who had locked up coverage on the outside. They were looking for Jason Askins Brooks. He wanted a flag, but good defense by number 44.
Hodge is in great position there. Great position in a one-on-one. Turn around, that ball's right in your lap. That ball's right in the belly, Hodge. But, it's a tough one, man. It's tough. As a defensive back, I've been there before, man, and it can be a nightmare when your only way of turning around in time is you're reading this receiver's eyes, and you're reading his hands, and you're hoping to react in time. That is a hopeless feeling, let me tell you.
Brooks going to get the punt away here on 4th down. A nice hop for St. George's. Going to hop. It might get into the end zone. Just had one extra hop in there for Donovan Brooks. It'll be a touchback in the APPO offense. Going to start this one at the 20. So 2:59 still remaining here in quarter number 3. APPO now trailing 13-0. Again, we saw what they've been able to do through the air the last 5 games of the season. We talked about that. They haven't really put it up in the air too much tonight. 2 of 8 for Greg Nielsen, but they haven't had success doing it. 2 interceptions coming out of those 8 passes for the freshman quarterback. What do you expect them to do here offensively the rest of the way?
I expect them to continue to run the ball up the middle with McConomy. That's what I expect to see from them. I think you got to try and give your quarterback a little bit more confidence, a little bit more faith. Like, okay, hey, next play, man. Look, you turned it over twice. We need you. We need you to be able to throw the football if we're going to want to put together drives. And they got Osebu, 1 touch. Huff hasn't had one yet.
And that passer Niels to put it in the air on 1st down, and
Huff is behind the safety. But again, it's tough to see. I mean, this freshman's head's spinning a little bit. This is a big game. It's a big moment for this young man.
That one falls incomplete. He was looking to Ethan Osebu on the sideline. And you took the words out of my mouth. Noah Hoff has not got a target yet in this game tonight. We'll see if that changes the rest of the way. I would imagine it would.
Well, the quarterback's got to look for him. The quarterback's got to look for him.
Back in the double slot on 2nd and 10. Nielsen with the snap. This time they go back to McConomy. Has a hole, breaks a tackle, and that's what he can do. Run DMC out to the 40, and he was 1 tackle away from taking that for 6.
And there you go. So that was bottled up in the middle, but your offense, the way you had the receivers spread out, so it cleared out the safety, and all he was able to do was make 1 cutback. The linebackers were up at the line of scrimmage. He broke through that initial break, and that's what allowed him to get into the second level of the defense. These formations can really help with McConomy too. Right? I mean, a lot of these runs up the middle, they've been tight. They've been, haven't been able to get any kind of cutback lanes. He was able to find just a little amount of room and make a play.
Nielsen looking down the sideline. Griffin wide open, and he overthrew him. Dylan Griffith, the sophomore, running down the seam. Had a few steps on the defender, and Nielsen just a little bit too out ahead of him, and also off the fingertips of Griffith, excuse me. That one could have been a big play.
That's what they got to do right there. You saw what the defense, they are completely sold for run or quick pass because you haven't taken any shots. There was a nice little stop and go. The safety completely bit on the stop, and he was able to get behind the defense. That's a 6 inches away from that being to the house. I like it, though. You got to do that.
2nd and 10. They go back to McConomy. And he's hit hard after a few-yard gain. And Jamie Ryder-Hartman in there alongside a few other guys, Pat, including Ryan Gibbons and Dayon Cooks.
Great job by Ryder-Hartman staying true to his positioning and waiting, almost kind of spying McConomy on that one, and he's able to meet him in the hole and drive him backwards.
24 carries, 94 yards for Run DMC now through almost 3 quarters. We're under 2 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Clock continues to run. Now we'll get trips to the bottom here on 3rd and 7. One receiver to the top. Nielsen going to look to throw. Throws to the trip sideline, looking for his man. He has him, makes the catch, pushed out of bounds at the 40.
Noah Hoff.
And there he is, Noah Hoff, his first catch, first target, and he turns it into a big play and a first down.
Good read by Nielsen. Now look, he didn't hit the seam route, the stop and go seam route, but it was a good ball. That one again, good ball. See if you could get this youngster some confidence and some rhythm. I like that Coach Timpson didn't abandon the pass. Even though there's been 2 interceptions, this drive, he's come out, he's trusted his guy to put the ball in the air 3 times already, and it's going to pay dividends. They got to continue to trust it, and Nielsen's got to have the confidence in himself that he's going to eventually make the plays. He can make up for those 2 interceptions with a big drive here.
That one good for 15 and a first down. They'll put it in the air again. Noah Hoff deep, and he's got him for a touchdown. A huge play. Nielsen to Hoff, and the first touchdown of the night for the Jags.
Told you, you got to continue to have faith in your guys. You got to continue to have faith in your guys. They did, and good for Nielsen. Good for the freshman. He started to gain a little bit of confidence on his drive. He missed Hoff earlier in the drive on the deep route. He did not miss him there. Put it right where it needed to be. The St. George's defense was not prepared for the deep passes. They didn't respect it. Now they're going to respect it. This could potentially open things up for McConomy. This is exactly the recipe that APPO needed to do in order to win this game. This drive, they executed it. This is a whole new ball game now, Nick. It's a whole new ball game now.
Noah Hoff, 2 targets, 2 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. That one good for 41 as Chloe Lee adds the extra point. It's 13-7. APPO trailing St. George's here at home. A 41-yard pitch and catch from Greg Nielsen to Noah Hoff, the freshman to sophomore connection. Lives here in the 3rd quarter.
Love it. I just love what Coach Timpson and his staff did there in that drive. You know, as a former quarterback myself, as a guy who was a younger, getting some opportunities, that's huge for a freshman right there, right? This kid is 2 for 8. The majority of this game, they come in as the higher seed, a lot of expectations. He's thrown 2 interceptions, hasn't been on the same page, looks a little flustered. And you went out there, and clearly the message was, I got faith in you, son. I got faith in you. You're going to come out here, you're going to make plays, you're going to get us back in this football game. He obviously took the messaging. He saw a couple good throws happen, and all of a sudden the confidence is there. This is exactly what APPO needed to do. I'm so happy that they got away from we're just going to run in the middle, run in the middle, run in the middle, run in the middle. Now you've opened this defense up a little bit. Who knows what happens now? I love to see that. And now St. George's has got, look, they built themselves up a 2-score lead. That little bit of a cushion is now erased. Now it's time to knuckle up and get back to executing the way that you were.
Another whistle in the middle of a play, this time here on the kickoff from APPO to St. George's. And that's going to be a flag. I think it's going to be offside against the Jaguars on the kickoff. Have to back them up here.
A little too antsy after the score.
Again, we talked about the freshman. He really struggled before that drive. That drive, he completed 2 passes, 56 yards, and a touchdown. As you said, we'll see if that gets him going.
And really, he put that ball right on Griffith's hands. Griffith couldn't come down with it. So he made 3 out of 4 good throws, 3 out of 5 good throws right there.
Didn't let the 2 interceptions bother him tonight.
Right.
What a response by the freshman quarterback.
I love to see that, man. Like, Nick, you don't understand. Just like good linebacker play makes you have good quarterback play.
Oh,
makes me
I'm
happy.
right there with you. And now here's going to be a return for St. George's.
Wow.
And there he goes again. Lee into APPO territory up by the 30. Apologizes. I was just as shell-shocked on the kick return as everyone else. Finds a hole, able to exploit it. And Reggie Lee, the speed, and again, he has all of us up here in the press box at APPO talking about that speed and explosion he has. The only one listed on the St. George's roster as an athlete. Doesn't have a position, he's an athlete.
No, he is. That's appropriately given. Let me tell you something. That kid's got a second gear that not many kids in this state have. What I just seen right there, from 40 to the 40, may have been the fastest thing I've seen this season. And we've seen a lot of Ymir Knight. We've seen a lot of McConomy in the open field. We've seen a lot of fast guys. That was him. He broke away from guys. What an angle to come up with the tackle, though. Let's see if APPO can get a stop.
Double slot. Brooks will pull it. He's now going to have a receiver block for him as he gets down the sideline. A big carry on first down for Donovan Brooks. Good for 15, 1st and goal for St. George's.
What an answer. What an answer by the Hawks here, Nick. What an answer by the Hawks. I told you, okay, that touchdown should wake up. You had your cushion completely taken away. It's time to refocus and get yourself ready to go to try and get yourself back in. You got a game now. This team isn't going to roll over, and they've answered. They've answered so far. See if they can finish this off.
Response on the road. The kick return, and then the first play goes for 15. First and goal from the 7 for Brooks and company. They'll turn, hand up the middle, and able to split a few defenders. Help brought down by Husser and Dymere Millum. And he'll pick up a few yards as the clock ticks under a minute here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, great job up front. You talked about those big guys up front. Milam and Husser, Kamara, Porter. I mean, that's one of the best defensive fronts in the state. And they did a great job here. And they're going to be dependent on here in this goal line stand. Is this inside the red zone goal-to-go situation.
A new back in the backfield. As Brooks going to hand it off.
He's keeping
or
it.
Excuse me, fake the handoff. Tried to keep it up the middle. Ran into
it's Kamara,
a couple
12.
Jaguars. You said Kamara in on the stop.
Great job. And again, that veer option, it's dangerous, right? You got to be careful against that. They did a good job staying disciplined, coming up with the tackle. And we're going to go to the fourth quarter with 3rd down and goal.
How about this one? We have got a good one here in round 1 of the Class 3A playoffs. Number 2, APPO. Number 7, St. George's. A 1-score game here on Friday night. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's 4th quarter action here at Appoquinimink High School. Jaguars and Hawks coming down to the wire here at Appo High School. We'll be right back.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway.
And welcome back to Appoquinimink High School. 12 minutes of football separating who advances between these two teams. Number 2, APPO. Number 7, St. George's. Nick Alcedrini and Pat Garianis. Here we go. 3rd and 7. And Brooks going to take the snap. He has some room to run. He's going to get through it, but hauled down by APPO, at least for the moment. What a play by Antoine Osborne, the first team all-district linebacker, coming in and closing that hole quickly. Pat Garianis, a MVP. You can do it all. Mid-play, running over to the camera. I've never seen anything like that.
Still got a little quick twitch left in his body there.
That was quick.
Still got a little quick twitch left in the body here, man. I'm not sure what's going on, but hey, we step up when needed. Step up when needed, buddy.
You're saying we're going to see who's going to step up for these two teams here in quarter number 4, 13-7 lead. That carry on 3rd down, Pat, was good for 3 yards for Donovan Brooks. Now here we are, 4th and 4. St. George is going to take a timeout to talk about it. 11:39 to go. You're up by 6. They've got a capable field goal unit. We'll see what Coach Wilson decides to do here on 4th down from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, this is a tough call because the field goal is going to put you up 2 scores. So, like, if you're confident in your kicker, that's the choice I'm making. Let's see. Does he got confidence in his guy? If not,
doesn't look so. It looks like we're going to go the offense.
You're going to go to try and go up 2 scores. Big moment right here.
Miller is the running back on 4th and goal from the 2. Brooks hands off to Miller, and he's wrapped up by Elijah Husser, who falls on him at the 1. A turnover on downs and a huge stop for the APPO defense, all coming from the first team all-district lineman of the year.
Tell you what, man, momentum is shifting. Momentum is shifting, Nick, and it's not a bad call. I like that you're going to give your guys an option here, but that Husser and that defensive front got off blocks quick, and Husser came up with the tackle, but there was other guys there. I mean, it was completely covered up. Well done by APPO. Now, APPO's lined up deep in here. Let's see if they can create some space and make things really interesting here. What a stop after the huge kick return.
They're going to need DMC to get him out of this one. Looks like they're going to go in the earthquake. Snap to McConomy. And he's going to be brought down at the 2-yard line.
A little bit of room.
Little bit of room there, right?
Room.
Yep, so he's able to get a yard or two. That's definitely going to give him some breathing room. And they'll be out to the 5-yard line, so now 5 yards separating them from the end zone. 11-10 and ticking, 2nd and 7 for the APPO offense.
3 yards, you'll take 3 yards. Now, the question is, are they going to continue to go up the middle, or are they going to try and space this one out? It looks like they're going to continue to go up the middle.
Back in the earthquake pad here on 2nd and 7. The snap right into the hands of McConomy, and he runs right in to the St. George's heart of that defense. Jamie Ryder-Hartman, the senior captain, in on the stop.
He's a great linebacker, Nick. I really like him. I know that he was highlighted in the pregame, and 47 tackles on the season in the middle of that defense, but he's got the size, he's got the mentality, it looks like, as well, to be a great middle linebacker. And he just stayed right in there and wasn't allowing McConomy. That's like 2 or 3 times in this game he stonewalled him.
And again, these snaps in the earthquake, they are just landing in the chest of McConomy. These are some tough snaps as McConomy finds a hole. Arm tackle wouldn't bring him down. He's finally brought down by Schofield. And it's going to be right at the marker. It looks from where we are like he would have enough for a first down when you look at the far official, but
they're going to stay. And you know what? It's close enough to
measure. Got to measure, right? Absolutely.
It's definitely close enough to measure.
And again, just to go back to the point I was making a few moments ago, if you're watching closely here with these snaps, they're good snaps, but they are lasers. They are hard snaps, and they are hitting these guys in the chest and almost bouncing off. McConomy's done a good job of corralling these snaps. We've already seen a few go over the head, but again, a good snap, just a lot of power under it. And again, that's a great center you got out there for Appoquinimink. Miko Gibson, the junior. He's first team all district. He knows where to put it. And now we'll wait and see. And that's going to be enough for a first down. A big play that time, Pat. It looked like it from where we were standing. They're going to get it by a few inches, 1st and 10.
Yeah, it's a big time first down for APPO. Now you can relax at least a little bit here. And now you can try and build some momentum. You see they're going to get the regular offense back on the field. Nielsen's coming back out there after a hot drive. Let's see if they go into the passing game at some point here, if they continue the running game just with the different look. I like that they're spreading the field out, though. I think that's where they can have the most success.
Double slot. Here they go. 1st and 10 for APPO, deep in their own territory. They'll hand it off to McConomy. Has a big hole. He's going to get into that next level. Brought down after about 11. A new first down as he's tackled in the secondary by Emery Womack.
There you go. You spread the field out, and you're taking bodies away from the middle. And now the better team, who's in better shape, right? Right now it looks like APPO's been able to get some advantages up front and create some space for McConomy. But why? Because now you got to respect the pass because of the last drive.
Nielsen going to whisk something in the ear of Elijah Husser here on 1st and 10. He'll take the snap, hand it off McConomy. A nice cut inside, but runs right into a few Hawks after it.
That's a tremendous effort by Jamal Ben Yusuf. Tremendous effort to grab him and drag him back, not allow him to fall forward. Even though he gets 3 yards, 4 yards on that play, it's a mental thing. You want to make sure you're not moving forward on us.
29 carries, 118 yards now for Run DMC, picking up yardage here in the second half. And when talking to Coach Wilson, Jamal Ben Yusuf, he said he has come on as one of the defensive players to watch down the second half of the season. He's been great for him. 2nd and 7, Nielsen, play action, looking down. Got him wide open, and he's got him for a first down and more. Ethan Osebu deep into Hawk territory.
Hey, I like it. They're pinning the top off the defense. I told you that you're going to have to get Huff. You're going to have to get Osebu some touches. And now Nielsen's hot. He's confident, and he put that ball right on the money. That was a good at least 50, 40-yard throw in the air to Osebu in stride. And this defense, it's just going to peel him back even further if they get beat deep a couple of times.
That one good for 52, up-tempo. They hand it off to McConomy now. And he gets through into the linebacking core. He'll pick up 4 or 5 on first down. Clock now at 8:18 and ticking. But a good carry on first down for McConomy. And now the APPO offense getting into a little bit of a rhythm. Nielsen has looked really good over the top here in the second half.
Yeah, St. George's right now is in the danger zone. Right now, blood's in the water. They need to stop. They need to somehow find a way to this is a sink or swim moment, I feel like.
They'll hand it back off. McConomy close to first down yardage. We needed about 5 or 6. And it looks like he might be stopped about inches short. And never mind, they're going to give it to him, a first down carry for Run DMC.
Great work. And again, you're starting to get some wider running lanes, and that's because they have to now play back a little bit and respect the pass. It opens up the middle of the field.
And again, St. George's offense has had a tough time going. They've scored off of an interception deep in the APPO territory. And now we'll have a whistle down on the field.
I'm not sure who called it. I think St. George's called it.
So it is. Yep, St. George's will take a timeout. They're going to want to talk things over. 7:32, Pat, remaining in this one, 13-7. APPO offense kind of developing a rhythm here in the second half. And APPO sitting at the 19. If they're able to punch this in, again, extra point would give them a 14-13 lead. And again, we're jumping a little bit ahead here. St. George's defense has been great. Maybe they can get a stop. But the offense for St. George's hasn't really been able to gain any traction. A touchdown here for APPO would be ginormous.
Would be huge. And I think that Coach Wilson and company sensed that, and that's why they took this timeout. Here's 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Get your guys a breather. You're noticing that the momentum has flipped. It's completely flipped. These guys they started this drive at the 1 yard line. This has been one of those back-breaking type drives. So if you can get a stop here, this would be huge for the conclusion of this game.
Double slot again for Nielsen in the pistol. McConomy sits behind him. They'll give it to him, and he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Dives forward, but once again, Jamie Ryder-Hartman in on the stop. He's playing a phenomenal middle linebacker tonight.
Yeah, he has. He's been tremendous. And, there you go, timeout, and you at least stop the bleeding on that first down play out of the timeout. Now you got to string these together. You need 3 more of them if you're coming from a St. George's perspective. If you're APPO, I'm looking to throw here, bud.
There they go, double slot, Pat. They've thrown out of double slot here a few times in the second half. Nielsen, play action. He's going to look to throw it again. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to be brought down, and the ball's loose.
Wow,
ball is on the ground.
St. George's got it. Munson.
And what a turn of events as St. George's comes up with yet another crucial turnover. 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and now a second fumble recovery as the pressure was brought from the Hawks. Nielsen loses it as he drops back, and what a turnover for St. George's. That defense could be a game-changing play.
Could be, and I'm not sure that you see young Nielsen's getting some coaching on the sideline. I don't know, maybe that was supposed to be a designed run play, and he kept it. Not sure, but the route tree there looked bizarre. And I think that
I even saw some linemen maybe not sure if they were pass blocking either.
Yeah, there was some miscommunication. And ball security is important. Nelson took the sack and lost the ball. That's huge for St. George's.
They give it to White on the first down carry. Elijah Husser going to shut that down very quickly as we tick under 6 minutes and 45 seconds here at APPO High School. Second and long upcoming for St. George's. Again, now, if you're APPO, 6.5 minutes, you got to get a stop, but you still got plenty of time. You just have to get one stop here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that
one
one
more
doesn't,
stop, I should say.
You're only down 1 score. It doesn't hurt, and I'm telling you, Nielsen, this young man's got to have a quick memory. He did earlier in the game. He's got to do the same thing here, and so did his teammates. They're one stop away from really getting this thing, getting the ball back with decent field position if they can force a 3 and out. But that timeout by St. George's, Nick, stopped the momentum completely to get a turnover right after it. It's the sounds of
Jaguar faithful.
It's unbelievable.
Under 6 minutes, 2nd and 9. They'll hand it off, or a fake handoff. It was a veer to the left side, and Donovan Brooks going to get into the 40.
Oh, what a job staying in bounds.
And how about that, Pat? He stays in bounds, and then they had the option off of the veer. He faked the handoff, had a running back to pitch to. He faked a little pitch there, able to cut it up inside. And he's going to pick up first down yardage at the St. George's 40.
What a job. Score update, Lake Forest leading DMA 20-14 in a Class 2A matchup. Fourth quarter action right there.
Donovan Brooks started to pick it up on the ground here in the second half.
Smyrna gets a win 50-0.
They've looked good, Pat, as of late, that's for sure.
Love what you're seeing from St. George's. No rush. Look at the back judge. Once the hand goes up, don't snap it until you see it.
Absolutely right. And talking to Coach Wilson, had nothing but fantastic things to say about Donovan Brooks. There's the counter back the other way, and what a tackle.
Yes, it was.
As Miller was close to a first down, maybe a huge yard-saving tackle by Dylan Griffith.
Yeah, Griffith came up, tackled him. But you're right. Yeah, the counter reverse right there, and that's a good time to call it. Yeah, Coach Wilson knows. He's like, look, man, we just seized momentum back. This team's on their heels. Here we go. We're going to throw something at them and try and end it right now.
Miller up to 78 yards rushing, and as I was saying, talking about Donovan Brooks, he's one of the best quarterbacks that I've had a chance to coach, and he said, I've had some good ones, and I do. He's had some great ones at St. Mark's over the years. Donovan Brooks, he says, is just as special. He said if their record maybe was a little bit different, he would get some more recognition. But a phenomenal player for St. George's this year, and a big carry, giving them a first down a few moments ago. 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard carry by Miller. Now it's a quarterback power. He'll follow his lead blocker.
Oh!
And he skates through the pile. He's still going inside the 35 and finally brought down Donovan Brooks, putting on a show here on this drive.
That's a grown man run right there. That is a grown man run by Brooks. Wonderful effort right there by the quarterback. And how about this? This St. George's team, they took the counter punch from APPO, and they've answered right back. They've answered right back. Have not been fazed by it.
Back-to-back 15-yard carries for Donovan Brooks. And he's up to 75 yards rushing. And again, on a day where he struggled through the air, has yet to find a completion, starting to pick things up in the ground game. Is Donovan Brooks and the Hawks. 13-7. Clock is now working against APPO here. 3.5 minutes to go. 1st and 10. Here's the carry for Brooks. And he's going to be hauled up and brought down. As the ball popped out loose. But they blew the whistle, Pat. I know we heard it. That was a close one there. I'm thinking he was down. You couldn't tell for sure. But Brooks lost the ball at the tail end of the play. He'll be marked down after the carry, though. So it'll be 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1 yard. And now we'll have a timeout on the field.
APPO took a timeout. They let some more time come off, though. But yeah, I was just about to praise Dylan Brooks because I noticed, or Donovan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. He goes shooting some threes with the Grizzlies.
Tremendous. But you saw him put 2 hands on the football once he saw his momentum stop. He tried to put 2 hands on, and they still were able to punch that ball out. Lucky for him, he was down.
So again, if you're APPO and you're the Jaguars defense, that's what you're thinking right now. Hold him up and rip. That's what you're thinking as a defense. You need a turnover. 3.5 minutes to play. You're down by a score, 13-7. And St. George has started this drive, in their own territory after the fumble, deep in their own territory, around the 20-25 yard line, and they're putting together a nice drive.
Yes, they are, Nick. And we'll see. I mean, this is a big opportunity in this game. One more first down would really put some pressure on APPO, and that's got to be the goal. I think this is 4-down territory for the Hawks.
I think you're right.
How about this girl at the rock show, Blink-182 from the APPO faithful?
How about that, Pat? I'll tell you. If there's somebody that knows me, I'm telling you, you were up there.
The Jag band getting it done.
2nd 11 for Donovan Brooks and some movement up front. That could have gone against either. I think it's going to back St. George's up.
Now all the small things. Oh man, we're taking it back, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
It's got St. George's flustered, man. You'll be.
You know they're singing the song on the field right now, right?
Watching, waiting. All right, let's get back. Let's get back focused. Let's be professional, Pat.
So after the false start, 2nd and 16, still 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. First down marker sitting at around the 24. So slot now to the right side, almost an inverted double slot with a flanker on the left. And now we have another whistle.
Talking this one over. I'm not sure what the discussion is, if the clock should have been started or not. I don't think the clock should have been started.
I don't either. Again, yeah, 4 seconds just ran off from 3:20 to 3:16.
Right, because it was out of a timeout. There you go. They put it back. Now I know it says 3:11 on our game clock. Don't worry, I'll get this thing. I will get this thing matched up with the clock. Don't worry.
So that is a task in itself.
Officially, it's 3:20.
So 3:20 to go. 2nd and 16 for St. George's. Another quarterback sweep for Donovan Brooks. He's going to follow the running back, and he gets to the sideline. He's going to have green grass in front of him. He's going to be brought down close to that first down marker. We'll give him 14 on that carry.
That's
so back-to-back carries, Pat, for 15, and then the third one there for 14. Donovan Brooks starting to reel him off here in the fourth quarter.
And Coach Timpson's going to take his final timeout and hope that he comes up with 2 1-yard stops. It's going to be 2 downs here. It's 3rd down and 2.
15 carries, 88 yards for Donovan Brooks. Running back numbers, as they've struggled through the air, now a player for St. George's, getting stretched out, maybe some cramps down there.
You know, this happens every year,
At
right?
the
Just because
30.
it's cold out, Nick, doesn't
That's
mean
right.
that you won't cramp.
Got to hydrate, get some, the fluids throughout the day. Still got to prepare, but sometimes it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No,
That's
I mean,
the thing.
A lot of things at play when it comes down to that.
So 3:02 remaining, Pat. 13-7.
3:02.
It's
Here it is, Nick.
It's been a fantastic matchup. Everything we could have expected here in round one between these two teams.
Yes.
Again, they met back in week 4, 21-7 in favor of APPO. But speaking to both programs, you get the feel and you can see the results that they both have improved drastically since that week 4 matchup, a 21-7 win for APPO. And again, in that matchup, the only touchdown coming on a kick return for St. George's. So 3rd and 2, Pat. Brooks on the direct snap here. Quarterback power to the right side, and he's going to lean forward and have enough for a first down. That's a big one on 3rd down for St. George's, and that clock going to continue to tick here.
Huge.
As they're inside the 25-yard line.
So this is under 3 minutes to go here, Nick. Winner of this game. Jeez, man, the clock has not started on my computer.
2:39 and ticking for everyone at home after the carry, and this clock is just back to continue to run.
Yeah. The winner of this takes on the winner of Sussex Central Dover to give you an idea of the bracketology involved.
That'll be a good one.
I'll tell you what, man. St. George's as a 7 seed. This should be a huge win for this program.
So Brooks back in the gun. New set of downs for the Hawks in APPO territory. 2:14 and ticking.
Love Brooks. I love the coaching here. Making sure that he understands, look at that back, Judge. Use as much clock as you can.
He'll take the snap. Once again, he'll be a run with Brooks. He bounces it to the outside.
Ooh, he's got to be careful.
Almost lost it, but a good tackle, and now Brooks a little slow to get up after the hit.
Jeez, I had the timeouts wrong again. APPO had one left, huh?
And maybe he knocked the wind out of him. He's still down at the 30.
Yeah, he looks like he's in some discomfort.
Yeah, he never liked to speculate. So we're just hoping he's okay. We'll stay right here. A little break in the action now with Brooks down at the 20-yard line after that carry. That'll stop the clock at 1:57.
I mean, and here's the thing. Like, if Brooks has to sit out for a play, which I think he will, although it is a timeout.
I think he will.
You can at very least just run a run play with a direct snap to a running back. It's not like you got to get under center and do the quarterback exchange. You just run in your shotgun. If there is a time where you can afford your quarterback, oh man, it's an ankle.
Oh, that does not look good.
That's an ankle, or it's a leg. It's a lower body injury. He's limping.
It looks like that left leg. You don't want to speculate, but Pat, I agree with you. It looks like that left leg as he's limping to the sideline. Again, we hope everything's okay with Donovan Brooks. What a second half he's had.
So this messaging's got to be, look, guys, we're going to run the ball right. We're going to run the ball left. We're going to direct snap to our running back. 2 hands on the football.
Absolutely.
2 hands on the football. That's it. That's it. And if you're APPO, I mean, this was the case anyway, but you're selling out. It's run. They're not going to throw the football. Their quarterback's out.
And again, at least Brooks was staying by the sideline initially.
Looks like they're going to bring in here number 11.
And guess who that is?
Reggie Lay, yep.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They might snap it to him and let him run. Because he has been fantastic with the ball in his hands today. So not a bad move here. He's an athlete.
Why's the clock run?
Like an athlete, Pat.
Was there not a timeout?
I don't think they called it. It wasn't a official timeout on the field for the injury.
I said maybe they didn't have timeouts left. They signaled it as if it was a timeout APPO.
And now you see Reggie Lee going to do the same thing as you mentioned, Pat. He's going to wait. He knows when he's going to have to snap the football. They're just looking to the sideline.
Yeah, well, he's trusting his coach.
And Coach Wilson not happy about something. He's going to take a timeout.
Yeah, maybe this is the fact that, it's pretty simple. Look, guys, I don't want any confusion. I don't want my guy having to look at the sideline and then turn around and snap the ball. Just tell Reggie, you see that guy with the hat in the back there? When his hand goes up, that's when you do your cadence. You got 5 seconds. It's pretty simple. And you know what? You can even change your cadence up, right, with a non-quarterback in the game. Ready, set, hike. At this point, all you're doing,
do whatever you want.
Dude, you're literally
a silent count if you wanted to.
It's all you're doing. You got 93 seconds. All you're doing is snap the ball, run it up the middle, 2 hands on the football. 1 first down securely finishes the game. And if you don't get a first down, they're going to have the ball all the way down on this side of the field with maybe, 10 seconds left to try and get down here if you turn it over on fourth down. So you're in a great situation. Let's not overthink this.
And again, momentum was shifted early in that fourth quarter. APPO was in the red zone, a chance to tie or take the lead with a touchdown, a sack fumble on the freshman Greg Nielsen. Gave the ball back to the Hawks, and it's been in their hands ever since.
This is a good sign. Timeout to get Brooks back in.
Oh, that is a great sign. Great to see him okay and able to play.
He may just be handing the ball off, though.
And it looks like he was supposed to, but he's going to take off and run it anyway. First down yardage as Brooks slides the smart play at the 5-yard line. And what a performance from Donovan Brooks here in half number 2. That time, Pat, I think you're right. I think he was designed to give the ball to the running back. That time the running back wasn't ready. He kept it and took off for 15 more down the sideline.
Wonderful job. Now there's a timeout by APPO. I'm confused about the timeout situation. But wonderful job by Brooks, because look, here's the thing, right? Could have took that in for a touchdown. Could have, right? Definitely put this thing away by 2 scores and not even risking a chance of a fumble. But he just got hobbled on the previous play.
Yeah.
So not only does he keep the clock running and allow them to keep possession so they can finally burn out the rest of the time, he doesn't take a hit, which is important. He doesn't take a hit.
Absolutely huge.
Because if he had tried to force that into the end zone, he was going to get popped. So, I think that's a headsy play on
I agree.
100%. 2 reasons why that's a headsy play.
He's up over the century mark, 106 yards on 17 carries for Donovan Brooks, and a majority of them coming in that second half.
Victory formation.
And we'll say, again, that's a coach's favorite formation, the victory formation. We'll see if St. George is able to come out of it here, Pat. But a minute 26, a 13-7 lead for number 7 St. George's. Coach Timpson told us it's hard to beat a team twice.
It is.
And we're seeing that here tonight. But it was the defense and special teams, though, that was the theme or the storyline of this one.
It was. St. George's one good offensive drive really led off of a big-time return, and then the return for a touchdown was the difference. And APPO a little too late to get the passing game going here in this one. And down the stretch, a turnover is what hurt them. They turned it over 3 times, in fact, today, or 4 times today. And that's really what hurt APPO.
2 fumbles, 2 interceptions.
Yep.
You're right about that, Pat. And what a season, though, it was for the Appoquinimink Jaguars. No one had them pictured as your District 1 champions. They were indeed the district champions. Coach Timpson, the district coach of the year. McConomy, offensive player of the year. Elijah Husser, lineman of the year. I mean, the accolades go on and on for the Appoquinimink Jaguar program this year. What a season for all these guys.
And they're young, Nick.
Exactly right.
You look down at these Players. Okay, you're going to lose Husser, you're going to lose Beatty. You return 3 linemen, sophomore and Huff, Nielsen's a freshman, Griffith's a sophomore, McConomy's back, Glover's back. You lose Reinhardt and Bell. This team has got talent.
Absolutely.
On both sides of the football that are underclassmen. They will be back, and they will be a team to wreck with again next season.
And the officials doing some talking here the last few minutes.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Coach Timpson's upset about something. He ran onto the field to chat with the officials.
There's now like a minute 33 left.
Yeah, it's been a confusing one here at Appoquinimink High School. They're still going to talk about it. Coach Timpson is still out on the field.
They bring in the balls like they're down back at the 30.
And now
Are they saying the play didn't count? What is going on?
I couldn't answer that.
I wish we were plugged in.
I'm sure a few people could.
We need Adam Schefter.
Yeah, we need a sideline reporter. That's what we need.
Let's go to our rules analyst.
That's all right. We're bringing
Dean Blandino.
Jason Winchell from the bunker. Where is Jason enjoying this one tonight?
I hope Jay's getting some sleep, man. He's one of the hardest working guys in the
business. I'm telling you, they work all business. We have playoffs all week long.
Getting some rest, man.
Nick Calladay there as well. We have volleyball, field hockey, soccer, you name it. It went on this week. And check this out, Pat. We went from the 5-yard line now back to the 45-yard line. I don't know about you. I've never seen a 40-yard penalty before.
I think there was a penalty maybe from the line of scrimmage before the previous play. But we haven't seen anything.
We haven't seen anything
signaled yet. So
I mean, this is.
I'm sure the fans are just as confused as we are.
It's been about now 5 or 6 minutes.
Was
since
there
we
like
ran
a
the last
timeout taken when
play.
someone didn't have timeouts?
We thought the victory formation was coming out at the 5-yard line. That was about 5 minutes ago. Let's see if I could take the headset off and get an explanation. Hey, Pat, you know what? Everybody else's guess is just as good as ours up here in the press box at Appoquinimink. So the official up here with us, isn't aware either of what's going on.
Yeah, communication's key in any relationship, Nick.
You know what, Pat? I could not agree more. Could not agree more.
That is including.
And you love to see that sportsmanship, right? Out there,
Well,
you
you're
see the
seeing
lineman
it.
and defensive line shake hand. Again, they know, a
Victory
hard-fought
formation's
game.
coming, man. Victory formation's coming. It is first down, technically.
I don't know if we'll ever get there. We may sit here all night, Pat, waiting for the next snap.
Not sure, man. Not sure what's
but
going on.
let's talk a little bit now around the league. We talked
go ahead.
about St. Elizabeth's and Indian River. They were
They're
in
up
action tonight.
32-21.
So
St. E's is up right now.
looking to get that win. We talked about Smyrna, just a little
in control.
little game for them just to get things going here as they advance to the next round, as predicted. Now St. George is going to head to the sideline. So we'll just let's talk a little bit. So again. We saw the brackets. We've got some big matchups tomorrow. Middletown, who will be in action tomorrow in a huge matchup with Salesianum. They were here ready to go, watching this one out in front of us. Not a far drive for them, but that's going to be a big one tomorrow night. Sally's in Middletown. I had the chance to be there for the last one. Sally's played a phenomenal game defensively and special teams, kind of like this one. Middletown couldn't get anything going offensively. That's a great rematch tomorrow night.
It'll be a great rematch, and that side of the bracket's going to be filled with them. Because the winner of that game will take on Smyrna. So a lot of great potential rematches going to be happening in these semifinal games. Obviously the winner of this game, which we're assuming is going to be St. George's, barring a epic collapse here in the final 93 seconds.
We don't know what's maybe Appo's going to get the ball out of this timeout. We don't know what's going on here.
Our colleague Glenn Fraser saying there was a flag on the play. Yes, there was, but I'm not sure what.
What kind of flag would have warranted this pause in the action?
We're going on 15 minutes of what's going on. No one knows what's going on. There's no signals. Both teams are over here. Both teams are over there.
And we have an official description.
It's 20-20 DMA and Lake Forest. 7 minutes to go in that game. Thanks to Glenn on that. Mike Lang's the one that gave us that St. E's update. 32-21. Mikey Downs, have yourself a day. I believe he's got two touchdowns today.
We've got it, Pat. So we talked about Donovan Brooks leaving for the injury, right? We thought there was a timeout that would have allowed him to come back in. Apparently that was not the case. He came back in illegally without taking a play off. So that negated the 15-yard run. It also added on a 15-yard penalty. So that is a combined net loss of 30 yards for St. George's on that miscue that time.
Gotcha.
Took us a while to figure out, but we got it.
Took us a while to figure it out. Now they started the clock when they weren't supposed to start the clock. It's supposed to start on the snap. Coach Timpson, give Coach credit.
I agree.
He has called out these violations that are happening.
And again, Pat, Coach Timpson, he probably knew that ahead of time. That the refs probably should have stopped that play then before Brooks took the snap on the carry. And again, he's still, going to inquire about some other things here. We're having a great time, right? We're hanging up here. We've had a nice little 10, 15-minute pause in the action.
I brought the deep jacket. I'm warm.
Looking warm. That's good.
It's cozy and stylish today. If we could turn the camera around, I would,
That's our next step. We'll get a camera up here so you can look at us during the game. I'm sure that's what everybody wants to see.
Coach Prime, babe. Look good, feel good.
Look good, feel good, play good. Right. There you go. And Pat, another interesting one here. Not interesting one, but a score update from Nick Halliday behind us. A big one for DMA and Lake Forest. They are knotted at 20 in the fourth quarter. DMA taking that long trip down there today. Lake Forest, a very talented football team.
They are.
Again,
DMA riding the ship after a rough start to their season.
Some things going against them, absolutely, and they're trying to turn things around. So 20-20 down at Lake Forest. And DMA was trailing in that matchup, so a little bit of a comeback there for the Seahawks. And again, we'll see. Again, Pat, absolutely. If
Lake Forest driving. Yeah, Lake Forest driving around midfield.
The 4
to go. The 4 or the 40?
The 4-yard line, the goal line.
Going in. Oh, wow, they're in first and goal. How about that, man?
Conflicting reports.
Yeah, we've got Well, all around the Del HS world, man.
I think we're almost ready for action, Pat.
Are we almost ready?
I think we're a 20-minute delay. I think we're almost ready.
The old lady from the Titanic, she told us we're ready to go. It's been 85 years.
Well, the good thing is
we're not ready.
We're not ready
yet. We're not ready yet, Nick.
I was gonna say the good thing is they got it right. That's what you want after a half an hour.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Now, listen, these guys are gonna have to. These players are gonna have to get a 2-minute warm up. I feel like to finish this one out. It's just an extended
And again, though, you want to say, I mean, these officials have done a great job throughout the game. They have done a phenomenal job with the officiating during this one. Just a small miscue there, allowing Brooks to come back in after what we thought we were with him. We thought it was a timeout that he was free to come back. Turns out that was not the case. But, yeah, now they should, again, that is true. They should put a little bit of time back on the clock. I don't know if it'll matter how many timeouts APPO has or why isn't St. George's can just
it
take
does
a
because
knee.
the play clock, if I'm not mistaken, is 40 seconds. So it'll determine how many downs these guys can just take a knees, or if they got to run a play, which gives APPO a chance to force a turnover. That's why Coach Timpson's asking for time back. You see him down here talking to the refs saying he snapped the ball with 5 seconds on the play clock. Well, if they wasn't supposed to be in the game, then technically that 40 seconds should come back too. I think that's what he's trying to say. But you got to remember, they called a timeout with Lay back there, and then out of the timeout is when they brought Brooks back in.
And Coach Timpson, he's not leaving the field. He is staying out by the officials. He wants an answer for something.
Hey, look, get it right. And Coach Timpson, his team fought way too hard for him not to fight for them right now in this moment. So if he feels like there is something wrong with the clock and it's going to prevent his team from having a chance to score a game-tying touchdown, he absolutely should do that.
And that's why he's the district coach of the year.
Right.
Yeah, district
These
coach of the
need
year.
to talk it out. They need to talk it out and get it squared away. They need to square it away. It's that simple.
So Lake Forest punches it in, Pat, with a minute and a half to go. They take a 27-20 lead. DMA now going to have about a minute and a half to work with to try to tie this thing
Our
up.
colleague Glenn Frazier confirming that the line was, it's been 84 years. Love it, Glenn.
Glenn, one of the best.
He's one of the best,
I think he'll be bringing you a great matchup next week. I believe the winner Smyrna already advanced, but Smyrna the winner of Sally's Middletown. That'll be a great one. Again, Glenn will bring you that one next week.
Smyrna Middletown, the epic battle that happens every year when Middletown beats them in the regular season and Smyrna somehow comes back and gets them in the playoffs. Let's see if that trend potentially continues or if the Sows come out here and beat Middletown twice this season.
What a playoff picture we have. And
you're not kidding, man.
And now some more chatting going on here on the near
these
sideline.
players are good. They got to get loose out here. These some cows. I'm telling you, they need the 2-minute warm-up that they give you at halftime.
Should we play the top plays over again? I'm not sure if
it.
everybody at home is sick of listening to us chat a little bit up here. But still, again, a lot of stuff going on here at Appoquinimink High School. Just to recap the game, if you're just joining us, it was a 70-yard kick return for a touchdown from Reggie Lay that opened up the scoring. And then an 1-yard run from Tamir White at the goal line after a forced turnover interception for St. George's. And then APPO able to respond with a 51-yard touchdown pitch and catch from the freshman Nielsen to his sophomore favorite target, Noah Hoff. And now all the officials going to come have a word with Coach Timpson. And again, Coach Timpson knows what he's talking about. He has a point of emphasis. He knows what he just wants an explanation or wants them to fix it. And it seems like there must be an issue down there.
Well, he's not getting the explanation that he wants. Like, has a point, and, obviously either there's a misunderstanding or he's not getting the answer that he's looking for. But, it's just tough. But like I said, I get what he's doing, and you know what? I'm not frustrated by it, and I don't think anyone should be frustrated by what he's doing. Like I said, his team's fought hard all season long. His team has come a long way, and if he thinks that he can get time put back on the clock to force St. George's to run a play, which could potentially allow his defense to force a turnover and score a game-tying touchdown, you fight for your team the way that your team has fought for you all season long. So, again, let's get it right, and let's give him the explanation that he wants. Figure it out. There's got to be a rule. There's definitely a ruling on this.
There is, and I'm sure
so,
Jason's back at home. He knows it.
And
I think and that must be it. Again, talking to Calday behind us, I think he wants to put the time back on. And if that's the case and you're the officials, why haven't you just put the time back on?
Because I think the officials disagree with him, saying that because what he's saying was a full 40 seconds came off the clock before they called that timeout with the illegal player in the game. But if I'm not mistaken, and I know it's been 84 years since it happened, the timeout was called with Lay in the field, on the field. Timeout was called. They didn't like what they saw. And it was 1:33 left out of the timeout. That clock is stopped. It's dead. You can't take that time back. That's when Brooks came on onto the field. So with 1:33, which is the time that is being shown on the clock right now, that is when. So the time is accurate. I think Coach Timpson's saying that it's since the down is the same, that and maybe that's the thing. But clearly he wants time put back on the clock. I don't think he's going to get it. And he's not.
We are ready, and you can hear the crowd. We're ready for action back here in Appo High School.
Now the clock shouldn't start until the snap.
And I believe that's what will occur here. Brooks in the shotgun.
No, it's going to be Lay.
Or Lay, it is Lay. Excuse me, you're correct. I think because they had to bring him out. This will be the play that he had to stay off the field for.
And somehow,
and a quick timeout.
Appo's got a timeout left. So, this is incredible. But now, 40 seconds and 40 seconds, Nick, do some quick maths. That's a minute 20. So a couple of knee downs is going to leave 6 seconds left for Appo.
We've already had one punt return for a touchdown here today at Appo High School.
So right now they're going to run a play. It's going to take it down to, subtract 40, so 26-14. It's going to take you down to, 36 or 46 seconds? 44 seconds it's going to take you down to. And then you're going to snap the ball on third down, or on fourth down. So there's going to be potentially some decent amount of time on the clock, depending on what St. George's does on fourth down. If they choose to punt and try and pin them, or if they go for the first down. It's all going to depend on what happens here on this third down. And I don't know if Appo. I'm pretty sure Appo's out of timeouts.
We believe.
I thought they were out of timeouts. So let's see.
Let's see. Offense for St. George's back out onto the field. And again, not in any victory formation, that's for sure. So they're going to run a play. And if you're Appo, you're going to want to strip it. Quarterback sweep for Dylan Brooks.
Go down.
And he's going to reverse field, and you're right, he should just go down. And he's going to take a hit, though, as he does. But a nice run that time for Brooks. He just wants to add on to that total.
Yeah, he's just got to be careful with the football there. You don't want to turn it over. And
we saw it bounce out on a couple plays ago.
Just go down. You've done your job. Let the clock run. I'd even take the penalty.
Yeah.
Move them back 5 and then punt to pin them deep. Now, McConomee's going to go back. Do not punt him the football if you're St. George's. Jeff Feagles, Miracle at the Meadowlands, do not punt the ball to Deshaun Jackson, right?
Yeah.
This is
McConomee. He's back there with chomping at the bit to get an opportunity at this one.
So they're going to take the penalty. It's going to be 26 seconds or so left in this one. There it is. 23 seconds to go. Oh shoot! I didn't start the clock.
That's okay. They got us. They can hear us. 23 seconds to go.
Yep.
St. George is going to have to punt this thing away. McConomee is going to be the deep man for Appoquinimink, the offensive player of the year. So he'll be back there, ready to try to put this one in play. We'll see if Brooks absolutely kicks it to him or not.
Punt it out.
Either way, though, Pat, it's going to be Appo football, at least with a play. To a chance to tie this thing up.
And that's all you can ask for. Now, again, this ball needs to be punted out of bounds. Do not even give this young man a chance. He's too dangerous.
So they'll snap it. Brooks, he's just going to take off and run it.
Oh, he's got it.
And he's going to stay in bounds, trying to pick up the first down.
He did. No, he didn't. That's the original line of scrimmage.
But he got close.
He got close, and he ran 10 seconds off the clock.
That's a great play by Donovan Brooks.
That's as good as a punt. That's as good as a punt. You just move the ball 20 yards down the field, and you took 10 seconds off the clock, and there's zero chance McConomee was going to return it. Now you put 6 guys at the 50, and you just secure the ball carrier. Now, Appo's going to have a chance here to maybe take a couple of quick passes get to the sideline, get out of bounds, and maybe work your way up to where a Hail Mary could be thrown. That should be goal number one, is get close enough, get out of bounds to where you could potentially throw a Hail Mary and see if you could tie this game up, because right now you can't. Right now you need a miracle. So you got time if you can get to the sidelines on a pass play to potentially make some things happen. And you can see St. George's is way deep, anticipating a deep pass. I wouldn't anticipate a deep pass at this. Wow.
They're going to hand it to McConomy.
Wow, and he's going to stay in bounds.
And he is going to be stopped. So they get a play, and they hand it off up the middle to Daniel McConomy. And he is stuffed, and St. George's gets the upset on the road. They redeem the Week 4 loss, and they'll advance in the Class 3A playoffs. What a performance for the Hawks on the road. The defense steps up. 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, a punt return for a touchdown, and Coach Wilson and the Hawks, they advance.
What a job. What a game plan by St. George's. What execution, and way to keep your composure when things started to not go your way. You were up 13-0, and, very clearly APPO is starting to get momentum as there's some extracurriculars going on here.
Some stuff going on at halftime.
I get it.
Emotions at midfield.
Emotions run high, and keep your cool here. Keep your cool. There's no reason. But St. George's did a great job of withholding what was a big-time.
They got to get these guys off the field.
Yeah, this isn't good. And St. George's is not helping. They're stoking the flames.
Yeah, both teams are.
Yeah, and it's not good.
But again, yeah, you're right, Pat. Let's focus on the performance here. What a game. The St. George's defense and special teams. You talked about it. But McConomy, he got his carry up over 30 carries again today, including that last one with the last play of the ball game. And just APPO couldn't get into a rhythm offensively, and then when they finally did, a huge crucial sack fumble in the red zone.
I was going to say, they were able to withstand the counterpunch because APPO was coming. They were coming after him, and not only did they score a touchdown on a beautiful throw from Nielsen to Hoff, they got a turnover on downs and drove 90-some yards, and we're on the door, or 80-some yards, and we're on the doorstep again to potentially tie and take the lead. And you're right, the sack fumble was the play of the game for St. George's. What a job by the Hawks to just keep their composure on the road on a playoff game in a hostile environment and come away with a win. Well done by the St. George's Hawks.
Donovan Brooks led them offensively. 19 carries, 131 yards, and not one completion. Not one pass completion for Donovan Brooks. He didn't need it tonight as St. George's gets the victory. As they head to the locker room, Pat, player of the game tonight, who do you got?
I mean, it's
a tough one, right?
I mean, I'm going to go with a guy that made plays on pretty much every side of the ball and was a difference maker tonight. Number 11 for the St. George's Hawks, Reggie Lay. And
what a performance.
The kick return, big, deep kick return.
That opened it up.
He had an interception return. He had the punt return for a touchdown. And then came in and was the emergency quarterback for a few snaps.
Had a fumble recovery. Again, he's listed as an athlete on the roster. He truly plays wherever you need him to. What a performance for the sophomore Reggie Lade here today. And again, you'll have him for 2 more years over there for St. George's. APPO, though, before we close out, what a season it was. I mean, really a phenomenal season, above expectations for the Jaguars this year. Offensive Player of the Year, Lineman of the Year. Coach Timpson was the Coach of the Year. Obviously not the way they wanted their season to end. Going to leave a sour taste in their mouth, but they're going to be back for years to come.
They are. They got a lot of young talent here, and they're a gritty group. I think they found their quarterback of the future.
Yep, absolutely.
And, this is a tough way to go out. Don't get me wrong. This is a tough way to have this season end for you after you really did turn a corner about midway through your season. But credit to St. George's. As you see, there's some good teammate, things happening here with Elijah Husser, grabbing one of his guys. Clearly, emotions are high. Look, man, this is disappointing. This is a disappointing way to end your season, but that's actually a really good teammate thing. Elijah coming over, calming his guy down, showing him some support, showing him some love. I love to see that. I do.
I love to see it again. What a season for Appoquinimink. St. George's, they will be back in action next week as the 7 seed advancing to round 2. We knew this was going to be one of the best ones in the slate for round number 1. It lived up to those expectations. So for Nick Allison, Drini, Pat Ganis, and Nick Halliday, a win for St. George's. The number 7 seed gets an upset on the road against number 2 Appoquinimink. They advance in your Class 3A playoffs. For everyone here at Delaware Live Sports, we will see you next time. Right back or on the NFHS network powered
Yeah, that's
by
right.
Delaware Live Sports. We'll see you there.
Right in our own backyard, our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The thing